Chapter 76, Do not save one's life when one sees one's death. Chapter 76, Do not save one's life when one sees one's death. Everything was too sudden, too fast. Before they could react, several cold spears were already nailed to their throats, preventing them from moving even a little bit. Long Shan roared, "Young lord, run." While they were talking, Long Shan rushed forward without caring about anything else. Long Fei's reaction speed was fast. If he were to fight head-on at this time, he would only be seeking death. Run first. Tiny rippling steps, whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk with the true breath activated, Long Fei released all of his power into his speed and rushed into the dark forest. The first thought that came to mind was of Nangong Lei's assassination, or perhaps the death warrior of the Zhuge clan. Flee first. Only by saving their lives would they be able to turn the situation around, seek revenge, and save them. However, seeing that no one was chasing after them, Long Fei slowly stopped. He did not flee far away, but silently walked back. Humph! They're all trash. A masked man's eyes were filled with contempt. Long Shan was pushed to the ground by the two of them. He glared at the leader and shouted, "Who are you? Do you know who we are? Rub. You still dare to look at me like that?" The masked man kicked. "Does your father care who you are? I am the lord here." At this time, a black-robed guard whispered into his ear. The masked man frowned and laughed coldly. "Long Fei, you think you can escape? Ha ha ha. I'll give you a choice. If you want to save your brother, I'll give you your life in exchange. I have no interest in the lives of these trash. What I want is your life." The sound was very loud, covering the entire small forest. There was no response. The masked man said, "Since when did the Long family have such a cowardly trash? How boring." There was still no response from the forest. The man's eyes were filled with disdain as he said coldly, "I'll give you 3 days to think about it. If you don't appear within these 3 days, then the 9 of them will be beheaded. When that time comes, you can help them collect their corpses, ha ha ha." "Young Master Long? Humph, he's just a timid junior." Finished. The man moved his spear and shouted, "Tie them up, return to the village." Ha! The many black-armored warriors quickly tied up the 9 Dragon Clan disciples. "Who is it? Nangong Lei's people? A member of the royal family? Or Zhuge Tianlong, Li Chengtian's people?" In the darkness, Long Fei's mind raced as he thought about it. He was sure that this was a premeditated ambush, and he knew the path they were going along from the beginning. The Long family absolutely kept the fact that they were going to the Long family's army a secret. Moreover, they had all quietly left the city, and the only people who knew about this were Long Zhanhai and a few of the elders from the Long family. If that was the case, Long Fei's heart tensed up. The current situation of the Long family is just too dangerous. To the Long family's army, Long Fei did not rush out in a hurry to save Long Shan and the others. He was very clear that he alone was not enough to fight against the black-armored warriors. The masked man was even an expert of the war chief realm. The only way was to find the Long family's troops and have them send out their troops to crush these black-armored soldiers. And then, Long Fei quickly rushed out. "Long Shan, all of you must hold on." After a night of running, Long Fei did not rest for even a second. At daybreak, Long Fei walked to the entrance of a huge mountain stronghold. On top of the stronghold hung a flag with the word dragon written on it. Long Fei immediately shouted, "Open up, open up." One of the Long family guards looked at Long Fei seriously and his expression immediately changed. He shouted angrily, "Where did this little thief come from?" Scram! Long Fei shouted, "I am the disciple of the Long family, Long Fei. I want to meet your general." "A Long clan disciple? Long Fei? I've never heard of it. Do you have any proof?" the guard asked. "A certificate?" Long Fei was dumbstruck. This time they didn't bring anything. The only tokens that the Long family disciples had, if one were to say that the proof was only from the dragon bloodline blood lineage in their bodies, however. The negative activation to dragon blood in his body basically did not have any proof of a blood lineage. Long Fei became anxious and said, "I am really a member of the Long family. Please inform them that I was attacked on my way here. All 9 of our brothers have been captured." What's your name without proof? In my opinion, you are an evil spy. Are you going or not? If you don't leave, I'll give the order to fire the arrows. The guard shouted, and the crossbow wielder suddenly appeared and pulled the bow and arrows, locking onto Long Fei, who was below the mountain stronghold. This scene shocked Long Fei. He thought that since there weren't many people guarding this mountain village, who would have thought that there would be so many crossbows hidden? If he were to barge in, he would definitely be courting death. The Long family army was indeed extraordinary. It was also at this time. A man with the appearance of a deputy general walked out and coldly snorted, "What are you arguing about? Can't you let me sleep now?" Reporting to Vice General Chen, there is a person below who claims to be a disciple of the Long family. He said that he was ambushed in the mountains and wants us to send troops to help him. The guard said truthfully. Vice General Chen was shocked and said loudly, "Could it be those bandits from Skyline Camp? What? You need our help. Who does he think he is? Even the Emperor back then didn't have the qualifications to make us send out troops. You, a mere disciple of the Long family, want me to send out troops? Who are you? Long family's Jizun?" Vice General Chen disdainfully shouted, "Brat, you better get the hell away from me. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. You can't even take out the proof, and you're still talking about the disciples of the Long family. TSK. The disciples of the Long family have never seen their own brothers being captured and fleeing for their lives. One look at you and you tell them that you're not one, or that you're just a useless trash who's as timid as a mouse." Vice General Chen's eyes were filled with contempt. Long Fei was enraged. "Fuck you, just you wait. One day, you will kneel before me." He didn't think that the Long family would have such an appearance. What Fireglass City's #1 Legion, they were a proud and arrogant army. Long Fei did not even hold any hope for them anymore. Since they were not willing to send troops to help, Long Fei would definitely not lower himself to plead with them. He turned around and left. At the same time, he silently muttered in his heart, "Skyline Camp, right?" Just as Long Fei was about to leave, Vice General Chen could not hold back his laughter. "Kid, this is the first stage. If you are unable to pass this stage, you will never be able to enter the Long family's army." One of the guards asked, "Boss, aren't you being a little too strict? The brothers of the Skyline Camp are not simple, the fighting strength of their group is truly intrepid." "Harsh. Heh. Patriarch's secret order is to use the most difficult trial to receive young master." Chapter 77, The Most Difficult Test. Chapter 77, The Most Difficult Test. Long Fei's heart was on fire. Fire of rage. He thought that if he found the Long family's army, he would be able to solve all his problems. However, not only were the Long family's troops not willing to send out their troops, but they also suffered from a wave of ridicule. Trash made him extremely unhappy, as he thought to himself, "When I return, I'll make you kneel down and sing conquer." Skyline Camp. Black Dragon Army, Pioneer Camp. Battalion Commander Meng Yu sat on the tiger head chair, holding his head up. "Battalion Commander, he will definitely run to the Long army, and Vice General Chen will definitely not send out any troops. Will he be able to escape?" a black-armored guard asked. "Escaping is his only option," another guard said. "If he runs away, then he doesn't have the qualifications to command the Long family's army." The four generals Feng, Yun, Lei, and Lei all disagreed with Long Fei taking control of the Long family's army. If it wasn't for General Long Yun's insistence, I'm afraid that he wouldn't even be qualified to enter the Long family's army trial. If he runs away, he'll be kicked out forever. This is the hardest exam ever. I have never seen it before. Long Fei is only at the second level of the war spirit. Even our Grand Master is stronger than him. How can he be a match for our pioneer camp? I bet he'll run away. Meng Yu's mind was also in a mess, but when he heard this, he became even more agitated. He really didn't like to think. Meng Yu stared at Hushan, who was waving his fan. "Sanyi, what do you think?" Hushan waved his fan and said indifferently, "We are following orders, we do not need to think about it. It doesn't matter if Long Fei runs away, or if he doesn't leave, it has nothing to do with us." Meng Yu said, "Then what about General Yun's orders?" Hushan said, "There's no need for an explanation. General Yun is only giving Long Fei one chance. He can't fight for it, is his own affair. If he gives up, it won't affect us at all. We would be happy and free. Meng Yu replied, a bit more direct. Hu Shan said with a smile, we'll just follow the orders from the higher-ups. Since the Patriarch has ordered it to be the highest difficulty, then so be it. All right. I'll do it this way, double my military defense. If he can't save these people from failure in 3 days, I can return to the barracks. Staying here is really annoying. Meng Yu relaxed the center of his brows, leaned on the tiger head chair and fell into a deep sleep. Skyline Camp. Long Fei stood on a tree with dense leaves and raised his head to look at the cliff that was towering amidst the clouds. In the Heaven's Danger Mountain stronghold, it was easy to defend, but hard to attack. If the Long family wasn't willing to send out troops, then he could only rely on himself. He didn't run away. Give up on his brother. He couldn't do it. The reason was very simple. It was because they were their own brothers, the elites of the Long family. For their brothers, for the sake of the Long family, Long Fei would not give up on them. Long Fei spent the entire day familiarizing himself with the terrain of the place. There was only one road leading up to the mountain and it was patrolled by 6 lackeys. Moreover, there was a beacon next to the mountain gate. As long as one ignited it, they could see inside the village. If he wanted to avoid being discovered by the higher-ups, he could only finish off 6 people in an instant. Besides these 6, within 2 hours, 4 patrolling teams would be coming to change shifts. If he wanted to save someone within 2 hours, he would be discovered. It would take them an hour to reach the top of the mountain. It would be too difficult to save Long Shan and the others within 2 hours. It was completely impossible. Furthermore, they did not know what the situation in the village was like. No way. Long Fei repeated, calculated in his mind. No matter when, he couldn't do it in terms of time or other conditions. And then, Long Fei continued to look at the terrain. He walked to the bottom of the cliff and discovered that he was in a huge lake. Long Fei dove head first into the lake, but the bottom of the lake could not be seen. The cliff was 2,000 meters high. If he jumped down from here, with the cultivation bases of Long Shan and the rest of them, they shouldn't fall to their deaths. However, the risk is too high. Long Fei lifted his head to look at the cliff once again, but he denied it in his heart. The lake was indeed big, but if the wind changed, then there would be a huge deviation. At that time, the result would be death. Long Fei could not take his brother's life as a joke. Following that, Long Fei thought of a new method. Time passed bit by bit. In the blink of an eye, night came. The night patrol did not relax at all. 1 day passed. Long Fei still did not think of the best way. Moreover, in this case, there was no best way. Skyline Camp meeting room. The first day has passed. That kid didn't react at all, and our people didn't find any trace of him either. Clearly, that kid has escaped. I guess we scared him to death some night, ha ha ha. The 3 great generals are right. Negative activation to dragon blood people are simply unworthy of being the Long family's patriarch, and even more unworthy of being the commander of the Long family's army. There are only 2 days left. Meng Yu muttered, brat, admit defeat. Even if the Skyline Camp had thousands of troops, they still wouldn't be able to get close to it. The difficulty of the mission was too high. In the history of the Long family army, there had never been a person who had passed such a difficult test. Even if it was the Grand Preceptor, it would only be in the 3rd level of difficulty. At that time, he was still in the War Chief realm and Long Fei was only at the 2nd level of the War Spirit. The next day, Long Fei was still observing. He noticed. There were only a few people patrolling outside the mountain gate, and it was just 10 people patrolling around. Moreover, there must be a lounge halfway up the hill. Although it was just a small discovery, it had given Long Fei a pleasant surprise, and his confidence to enter the Skyline Camp increased by another level. At daybreak, Long Fei came to the lakeside again, and observed the wind here. The 2nd day passed. Everything was still calm. In many people's hearts, Long Fei had already given up. At the Long Army's headquarters, Long Feng laughed, Junior Sister Yun, don't hold any hope for him. Long Fei is not his father, and even his father would find it hard to pass the hardest exam to pass. Long Lei also laughed. The patriarch is crazy, he actually gave the order to use the most difficult mission to test Long Fei. Long Lei replied, he definitely knows that we won't agree to it, so he did it this way. If it's the normal difficulty, then since that kid passed, wouldn't we have to listen to him? The supreme dragon elder of negative activation to dragon blood, wouldn't he be laughed to death by others? A girl with red skin, wearing a suit of armor, looking valiant and formidable. Long Yun. She was also the only female out of the 4 generals of the Long family. Long Yun clenched his fists and said, I believe him. Ha ha ha. Junior sister apprentice, I believe it's useless. This world relies on strength to speak. The other 3 generals laughed. On the 3rd day, everything was still very calm. Meng Yu laughed. Looks like that brat really escaped back to Fireglass City. I will send someone to report to the headquarters tomorrow morning to the 4 generals. Yes, sir. In the wee hours of the morning, when people were at their most tired, a black shadow forced its way into the mountain gate. Chapter 78, Mutiny. Chapter 78, Mutiny. The dark of the moon, the night of the high winds, the night of killing, at the mountain gate. It's the last night. That kid shouldn't be coming. What Long family's young master? He's just a coward. I don't think we need to patrol. Let's go back and sleep. The 6 of them began to casually chat. They did not know that danger was approaching. Shua. Long Fei suddenly jumped out from 3 meters away from one of them. Mountain hit Fist. Bam! A fist flew through the air and hit a tree, causing him to faint on the spot. Without waiting for the 5 to react, Long Fei took a step forward, and like a ghost, he neared the second person, and threw a punch downward. Bam! The man's head was hit and he fainted on the ground. Kneel down, toading skill. Shua. He crashed into a guard, sending him flying. There are 3 more people. Long Fei did not stop there. Furthermore, he did not use the true breath either, so killing someone at this time was not a wise move, because if one could not kill the opponent, they would let out all kinds of screams. Coma was the best way. Therefore, every time he used his strength, it was just right. Moreover, it was to make these black-armored warriors seriously unconscious. Everything happened too fast. After 3 consecutive days of patrolling, they didn't have much time to rest. On top of that, they also had one last night to rest. The remaining 3 people didn't even have the chance to resist before they were hit by Long Fei and fainted. Long Fei quickly changed into black armor and rushed up the mountain. He did not go directly to the skyline camp, but went to a resting hut halfway up the mountain. The 4 of them were snoring loudly. Long Fei's every punch, all of them knocked out. Huff. The first mountain gate has been safely completed. Long Fei raised his head to look at the skyline camp not far away, and thought in his heart, brothers, wait for me. And then, Long Fei quickly fled into the darkness. Skyline camp, everything was normal. Meng Yu walked into the dungeon, looked at the 9 imprisoned Long family disciples, and revealed a disdainful cold smile, as he said indifferently, it seems that your young master did not intend to save you. In his eyes, your lives aren't worth much. The expressions of the 9 disciples of the Long family turned cold. Their hearts were in pain, but they knew very well who would come back from such a situation. Moreover, they also didn't want Long Fei to return either. If he returned, they would be sending him to his death. Long Shan rushed up and shouted, young master is smart. He won't fall into your trap. Just you wait. When the Long family arrives, all of you will die. Ouch. Using the Long family's army to scare me? Meng Yu laughed coldly, you think I'm scared? You won't be able to see the Long family's attacks, because tomorrow morning, all of you will die, ha ha ha. The faces of the 9 sank. A person with a mental breakdown rushed out and directly knelt in front of Meng Yu, crying as he begged, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I beg you, please spare my life, I'm not a disciple of the Long family, I have no relationship with the Long family, I'm begging you, let me go, I don't want to die. Long Shan shouted, Long Cheng, what are you doing? Long Cheng, are you crazy? What nonsense are you talking about? Anyone would be afraid of death. After Long Cheng, 2 more people rushed forward and knelt in front of Meng Yu, kowtowing and begging for mercy. I beg you, please spare my life, we aren't members of the Long family either. Meng Yu revealed a playful cold smile, and said, very good, very good. As long as he's not a member of the Long family, I can spare his life. After all, my mission this time is only to target the disciples of the Long family. As long as you admit that you're not disciples of the Long family, I will spare your lives. I'm not from the Long family either. And me, I'm not either. The moment Meng Yu's voice fell, 2 more people kneeled up. Of the 9, only 4 remained. Long Shan kept saying, are you all crazy? Have you all forgotten the Long family's teachings? Long Cheng, Long Yu, you. All of you, come back quickly. Long Cheng gave a cold snort. Long Shan, why are you worried for the Long family? Your surname is also bestowed by the Grand Ancestor, and you're not a member of the Long family. Why would you sacrifice your life for the Long family? That's right, that trash, Long Fei, has already escaped. If he wanted to save us, we would have come back a long time ago. You're right, what young master? In my opinion, he's just a coward. Long Shan, a wise man knows his place. You should just follow us. Without waiting for him to finish, Long Shan shouted, the Long family gave birth to me and raised me. I was born a member of the Long family, and even if I died I would become a ghost of the Long family. The Long family's men never kneel to anyone, much less beg. Long Shan is right. I believe the young lord will come. The remaining 4 people said resolutely. These 4 were all disciples who had taken their lives from the Fire Wolf Valley, and they were extremely grateful to Long Fei. At the same time, they admired Long Fei in their hearts. I believe that Long Fei will definitely return. Ha ha ha. You all are really stupid. At this time, Long Fei is still coming back. Long Cheng sneered, he has already abandoned us. Meng Yu had a smile on his face as he stared at Long Shan and said, why are you sacrificing yourself for a piece of trash? I'll give you one last chance. As long as you admit that you're not disciples of the Long family, I'll spare your lives and promise not to kill you. Fat. Long Shan spat out a mouthful of phlegm and said, stop talking nonsense. If you want to kill me, then kill me. The 3 people beside him did not move at all. Meng Yu wiped off the phlegm on his body and laughed coldly. He waved his hand and shouted, come here, release these 5 people. Those 4 inside, serve me the punishment. Long Cheng looked at Long Shan and sneered, Long Shan, you're really courting death. Long Shan looked at Long Cheng with disdain, traitor. Long Cheng laughed, I'm not a traitor, I'm sensible, my life is mine, not anyone's. Only fools like you would risk your lives for the Long family, ha ha ha. The 5 of them were brought out of the prison. A few minutes later, screams of pain came from the dungeon. Long Cheng smiled proudly, what a fool. Hu Shan stood behind Meng Yu and asked softly, Battalion Commander, is it too much? Meng Yu's expression was firm as he replied, not at all, this is the most difficult test. The assessment for Long Fei is also the same for the disciples of the Long family. The Long family doesn't need traitors with weak minds. The Long family is always loyal, even in the face of death. Meng Yu did not regret what he had done just now. On the contrary, he was rejoicing that he had eliminated 5 dangerous characters for the Long family. If he did not eliminate them today, they might betray the Long family out of fear of death one day. Fight. Hit them ruthlessly, we want to see how hard their bones are. Meng Yu shouted harshly, and at the same time, said loudly, I still have the same words. As long as you admit that you are not a member of the Long family, you will be able to eat and drink. Long Shan spat out a mouthful of blood and laughed maniacally. Stop dreaming. The Long family's male child would rather die than submit. Ha ha ha. Meng Yu also laughed and shouted, let's see how long you can hold out for. However, he thought to himself, I like this kid. I need to think of a way to keep him by my side. Hey. Meng Yu was unusually fond of these 4 people. Is there anything abnormal at the foot of the mountain? Meng Yu asked. Hu Shan replied, everything is normal. That kid must have escaped. Sigh. Meng Yu sighed, and muttered, Grand Elder will definitely be disappointed. Chapter 79, Have you thought about the consequences? Chapter 79, Have you thought about the consequences? If he escaped, he escaped. To Meng Yu, this mission was worth it. Because, Long Shan and the other three made him very satisfied, the Long family's army needed this kind of loyal people. The Skyline camp was not very big. There wasn't even a decent mountain gate here. Long Fei easily entered the mountain stronghold. It was already 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Dawn was about to arrive in half an hour, and it was also the time when people were the most tired. The Black Dragon Pioneer Camp knew that Long Fei wouldn't come to rescue them, so their defenses were relaxed as well, and they slept and snored in the army camp. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Long Fei carefully moved forward, trying to get a clear understanding of the terrain of the village, prison. They should be locked up inside. There were 2 guards at the entrance to the dungeon. Tiny rippling steps. Shua. Long Fei took a stride forward, both fists drawing his bow, and then shot out at the same time, mountain hit fists. Bang, bang. The 2 of them didn't even have time to react before they were knocked unconscious. Long Fei rushed into the dungeon. The prison guards had already been removed. They all thought that if Long Fei didn't return, there was no need to continue guarding the prison. Dragon Mountain. Seeing that Long Shan's body was covered with wounds, Long Fei's anger surged. Mother ***, touch this daddy's brother. Actually, Long Shan only suffered some superficial wounds. He wasn't unconscious, but had not slept for 3 days and 3 nights. He was too tired and fell asleep on the rack. Meng Yu liked him. Even if they had to torture him, it would just be a superficial wound. If they had to torture him, Long Shan would definitely not be able to hold on. And then, Long Fei immediately gave Long Shan a highest-grade medicine powder. The moment Long Shan woke up and saw Long Fei, he had the urge to cry, "Young master, you, why are you here? You can't come, this is a trap. Hurry, let's go." He was just a person from the Long family with the surname Long. His cultivation was ordinary, his talent was ordinary, but Long Fei actually came to save him. The gratitude in his heart surpassed everything else. The 3 people beside him did the same. He was extremely grateful. Long Fei looked at the surrounding cells, where there were no signs of the other 5 people. He whispered, "Don't talk, I'll bring you guys to escape." "Why is there only the 4 of you?" Long Shan angrily said, "They are traitors. A bunch of cowards. Ignore them." As they spoke of these 5 people, anger gushed out from the hearts of Long Shan's group. Long Fei's brows tightened. He could vaguely guess what happened and asked, "Can you still walk?" "Sure, we're not severely injured, just a few superficial wounds." "Fine, follow me now." The 5 of them walked out of the cell in silence. Long Fei pointed to a pine tree not far away, and said, "Wait for me there, I'll look for them." Long Shan pulled Long Fei back and said, "Young master, they are traitors." Long Fei said indifferently, "I brought them out, I want to bring them back. This is my principle. People are afraid of death." If it was Long Fei, he himself would have chosen to live. Then again, they were Long Fei's brothers. They were once. For this little bit of brotherly affection, he had to bring them out of this place, and once they escaped, it would be up to them to decide. The more important reason. They were the elites of the Long family. If they could persuade them to stay, Long Fei hoped that they could stay. Long Shan clenched his fists. "I will never betray a young master like him. Even if I were to fight against the Sea of Fire, I will never betray him." Long Fei's measurement made them feel admiration. Ha ha ha. This rescuer is too awesome. Long Shan and those other brainless people are still suffering in the prison. They are really stubborn. They just admit that they are not the disciples of the Long family. "We are not the descendants of the Long family." Yeah, they'll be dead in a few hours. "Big brother Long Cheng, what should we do next? If these bandits let us go, where will we go? Is the Long family army going to return to the Fireglass City or to the Long family?" Long Cheng laughed complacently. "I've already thought about it. Let's go to the Long family's army. Long Fei will be running away. He doesn't even know what's going on here. At that time we'll dress up and say that we escaped by ourselves, going to the Long family's army trial. This is a rare chance to train here." "Will Long Fei see through us?" Long Cheng laughed. He's already scared himself to the point of pissing his pants. What right does he have to see through us? Furthermore, Long Shan and the other 3 have died. Who knows what is happening here? Ha ha ha. Big brother Long Cheng is truly thoughtful. From now on, you're our boss. As they were talking, the door was pushed open and a gust of cool wind blew in. Long Fei stood at the door, his face a little ugly, his fists clenched tightly, but in the end he still said, "I'm here to save you guys, quickly come with me and leave this place." He had heard all the conversation. Tell the truth. He felt extremely unhappy. Long Fei endured it and thought to give Long Cheng and the others a chance. Long Cheng was shocked for a moment, his face paled for a second before he recovered. "Young lord, you're finally here." After which, he walked up to Zhong Xian excitedly. The 4 of them were also stunned, revealing a twisted expression. None of them thought that Long Fei would really come. Some people felt ashamed, some people felt guilty, and some people felt that Long Fei was a fool. Long Cheng's mind spun, and the moment he walked to Long Fei's side, he grabbed him and shouted loudly, "Someone come quickly, someone come quickly, Long Fei is here, Long Fei is here. What are you all waiting for? Everyone, capture Long Fei." The other 4's faces changed. Some hesitated, some didn't know what to do, but in the end, they still charged forward. "Young master, don't blame us. We were forced to." Dragon City's shouts woke everyone up. Meng Yu's eyes opened, and instantly jumped off the bed. Before he could even put on the armor, he rushed out of the room and shouted, "Enemy attack." Boom, 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 boom. The black-armored warrior charged out with godlike speed. This is bad. That slut Long Cheng. Long Shan's eyes turned sinister. He didn't care that much as he shouted, "Protect the young lord." The 4 of them rushed out. Long Cheng grabbed Long Fei and laughed complacently. "Long Fei, this time you won't be able to escape, ha ha ha." Long Fei's expression was ugly. It was pretty ugly. Long Fei stared at Long Cheng coldly, and said, "Have you thought about the consequences of doing this?" Long Cheng sneered, "The result would be you getting killed, and we'll enter the Long family's army trial. When we return to the Long family and become the elder and higher-ups of the Long family, maybe we'll even become a divine dragon marquis. Ha ha ha." Chapter 80, Desperate Land. Chapter 80, Desperate Land. Long Cheng was very pleased with himself. He seemed to see his own brilliant future. He needed Long Fei. Because Long Fei was the best candidate. Grabbing hold of Long Fei's great merit, Meng Yu would definitely let them go. And since they had entered the Long family's army and returned to the Long family after the trial, they would definitely receive great rewards. At that time, their lives would naturally go awry. Long Fei's voice grew even colder, and said, "The moment I killed Long Zhanwu, I told myself that I would not kill any more members of the Long family, because I knew that if a family wanted to become stronger, the first thing they had to do was to unite. But I'm going back on my word today." As soon as he finished, the true breath in Long Fei's body shook. 2,000 points. Buzz. 2,000 true breaths swarmed out, spreading to every inch of his body. With a violent shake of his arm, he directly repelled Long Cheng and the others. At the same time, Long Fei pushed his body and suddenly fell to the ground. Caw! A strange cry came out of his throat. Before Long Cheng could react, he had already charged out. Boom! Smashing into Long Cheng's abdomen, Long Fei shouted loudly, "Strangle him." When the true breath entered Long Cheng's body, his internal organs began to twist rapidly, as if he was being strangled by a meat grinder. Ah! Ah! Long Cheng clutched at his abdomen as he let out a painful scream, the blood in his mouth gushing out unceasingly. His internal organs had been completely destroyed. He wanted to grab Long Fei with one hand, and his body slowly fell down. "Long Fei, you can't escape either." Ah! Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Long Cheng for gaining 1,500 experience points, 100 true breath and 10 energy values. Long Fei stood at the door and swept his eyes across the 4 of them, saying, "This is the result." Then, Long Fei no longer paid any attention to them and quickly rushed out. He had given Long Cheng and the others a chance. even if they still gave them a chance after hearing the words that made Long Fei angry. But the moment Long Cheng grabbed onto his desire to sell the owner for honor, Long Fei's murderous intent rose. Once he was sure that this man was dead, Long Fei would definitely not show the slightest bit of mercy. As for the other four, they no longer had any relationship with the Long family, nor with him. Ha ha ha. Brat, you're finally here. A deep voice rang out. At this moment, the black-armored warriors quickly surrounded them. Long Shan and the others also rushed to Long Fei's side, surrounding him in the middle, and said, "Young master, we'll help you block them." Boom. Meng Yu landed heavily on the ground with an excited smile on his face. He didn't know why, but he was inexplicably excited. He didn't even know why he was so excited. Actually, in Meng Yu's heart, he hoped that Long Fei would come, because Long Fei was someone the Grand Elder had chosen. However, he knew that even if Long Fei came, he wouldn't be able to complete the mission. Only by saving the disciples of the Long family could this mission be considered completed, but now, Long Fei was already surrounded by the black-armored warriors. It was impossible for him to escape even if he had wings. Long Fei shouted madly, "Fight!" Ha! The four people of Long Shan's group shouted together and ignited their battle chi. Meng Yu laughed out loud and said, "Fight? Just the five of you want to fight me? Long Fei, the only choice you have right now is to kneel down and surrender." Ha! The black-armored warrior took a step forward, his spear piercing through the air and reducing the encirclement by half. There was no suspense. There was no way for him to escape, nor did he have the right to do so. The difference in strength was too great, as was the difference in numbers. A Long family disciple asked, "Young master, what do we do now?" Long Shan continued, "Young master, we'll protect you as you break through the encirclement. It doesn't matter if we die. You have to survive. You have to survive." Finished. Long Shan rushed out. But grabbed it back and shouted, "I haven't let you die yet, but you can't die. Do you think your life is yours? Your life belongs to the Long family. You guys are the same as well. Whoever dares to rush out randomly will not be my Long Fei's brother. I can't die." They were his brothers. Even if he died, Long Fei would die in front of them. Furthermore, he was not at the absolute point of death yet. Long Fei smiled, stared at Meng Yu and said, "You think I won't be able to escape?" Meng Yu laughed. "Haven't you seen the situation clearly? You think you can escape?" Long Fei said, "If I can escape, the next time we meet, I want you to kneel down." Meng Yu was shocked, and said, "There's no next time, because you're about to die." Hee hee. Long Fei chuckled, then said to Long Shan in a low voice, "Later on, I will break a hole in the south. You guys run towards that direction. Remember, you must be fast." "Where is the cliff? Where are you running to?" Long Shan immediately shouted, "Believe in young lord." Long Fei laughed crazily and said, "Watch. Dragon Salya. Wang." A loud sound was heard. Long Fei held onto his blade with both of his hands, and continued to chop towards the sky, slicing the skin, breaking the tendons, breaking the bones. 7 moves were released in an instant. Saber chi accumulated. Long Fei pointed his blade to the south and bellowed, "Get out of my way if you don't want to die." Dragon chop. Swish. The first layer of saber chi swept out. At the same time, Long Fei shouted loudly, "Flee." Meng Yu was shocked. Most of the black-armored warriors were also shocked by the Dragon Salya in Long Fei's hands. Supreme Artifact S. The supreme treasure of the Long family. That dense domineering aura, that power that looked down on everything, made people feel fear. A blade aura directly sent all the black-armored warriors on the south side flying, instantly leaving a hole in the ground, and Long Shan and the others quickly rushed out. Meng Yu reacted first. He took a step forward and punched Xiong Longfei. "Where do you think you're going?" At this moment, Meng Yu's willpower seemed to have been activated. He did not put Long Fei in front of the young master at all. He wanted to fight because he wanted to see the power of the Dragon Salya. Long Fei's gaze darkened, his right arm moved, boom. Magic power of right hand. Coalescing for 10 seconds. The two fists collided. Rumble. 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 Long Fei was forced to retreat a few steps, and Meng Yu, who was pressing down from the sky, was directly sent flying. His arms became numb, and he almost could not endure it anymore. This was only for 10 seconds. If he was able to condense it for 3 minutes, Meng Yu would be killed instantly. "Block him for me." Meng Yu landed and rubbed his right arm, then roared out, "Long Fei, you won't be able to escape." Again. Shua. Another layer of blade aura was released, causing a group of black-armored warriors to fly out, and Long Fei instantly rushed out of the encirclement of the black-armored warriors. Meng Yu laughed out loud, "That is the edge of the precipice. We want to see how you guys escape." Chapter 81, Waiting for Wind to Come. Chapter 81, Waiting for Wind to Come. Without stopping Long Fei, Meng Yu was not in a hurry. Because to the south was a cliff. There was nowhere to run. At the same time, he was also a little disappointed in his heart. After exchanging blows with Long Fei, his disappointment got stronger. He was excited by the appearance of Long Fei. He felt even more excited about Long Fei's power. But a mission was a mission, and if he was allowed to go easy on Long Fei, he would definitely fail this time around. This was the reason for his loss. "Don't worry, they won't be able to escape." Meng Yu did not dare to push him too hard, because that was a cliff, and if he fell there, he would be smashed into pieces. The Grand Elder was just a grandson. If anything happened to him, he would not be able to bear the consequences. Bang, bang, bang. The black-armored warrior advanced forward step by step. His speed wasn't fast, but his defense was even stronger this time. Even Long Fei's dragon Salia Chi couldn't blow them away. Hu Shan anxiously followed beside Meng Yu, and said, "Battalion commander, there is a cliff in front, if only Long Fei could." Meng Yu said, "I know, in the end the key point is that I will reveal my identity. I just want to see what exactly Long Fei wants to do after escaping to the edge of the cliff." In his opinion, Long Fei was not a reckless person. "Young master, behind us is the cliff. What should we do?" Long Shan looked out and saw that it was covered by a dense fog. It looked like a bottomless abyss. Long Fei looked into the distance and took a deep breath. He then picked up a handful of soil and scattered it towards the sky. "Wait. Waiting for what?" Long Shan was puzzled, but he didn't ask. They believed that Long Fei definitely had a way, and even if they fell into such a hopeless situation, they still blindly believed in Long Fei. "Stop." As Meng Yu's voice fell, the hundreds of black-armored warriors stopped in their tracks. The shield was set up and the spear was set up. It was a battle formation with both offense and defense. Meng Yu walked out and said, "I already said that you cannot escape, just obediently kneel down and place it down. This is your only choice." Long Fei laughed blandly. The descendants of the Long family never admit defeat, much less surrender. Moreover, "Did I lose now? I haven't lost yet." Long Fei held his hands behind his back, continuously sensing the direction of the wind. He began to worry secretly. Meng Yu laughed and said, "You are already standing on the edge of the cliff, and you still haven't lost. Being stubborn is useless. This world speaks for itself based on strength. Kid, you've lost. Accept your fate." In Meng Yu's opinion, this was undoubtedly a loss, and there was no chance to turn the tide, not even a sliver. "Young lord, fight it out with them. At most, I'll just die and fight." "Yes. Let's go all out against them. It wouldn't be a loss if we kill one, but we'll earn a lot if we kill an extra one." Long Shan also said. At this time, there was already no other choice. Retreat. His body was smashed to smithereens. It would be better to have a good fight. Long Fei continued, "We should be there soon." Meng Yu curiously asked, "Wait? Waiting for what?" "Waiting for the Long family's army to come save you." At this moment, howl. A cool breeze blew past. Long Fei laughed and said, "Since you mentioned the Long family army, then I will explain it all to you. Pioneer camp of the Black Dragon Army. The fighting strength of the Black Dragon Army's black-armored soldiers is not that great." Meng Yu's forehead tightened, and all the black-armored warriors became angry as well. Meng Yu stared at Long Fei and asked, "How did you know?" His heart was incomparably shocked. He felt that he had hidden it well enough. Long Fei smiled slightly, from the night raids of you two, to the fact that the Long family's troops are unwilling to send out troops, to your instigation, and also. The most obvious is the Black Dragon shield in your hands. This is the Black Dragon Army's unique shield. At first it was only suspicion. Long Fei also knew that Meng Yu and the others were not ordinary bandits, nor were they death soldiers from Nangong Lei or the Zhuge family. This was because the auras they emitted was the kind of aura that came from battles on the battlefield, completely different from normal warriors. In the beginning, he had only suspected, but now, with the Long family's mocking and ridicule, it was just trying to infuriate him. The doubt in his heart deepened. Meng Yu was stunned. Looking at the shield in the black-armored warrior's hand, he suddenly realized and said, "I really underestimated you." Long Fei said, "If I had not been careful, your Black Dragon soldiers would have suffered heavy casualties. Those people guarding the mountain gate all fainted from the attacks, and killing them was just a blade attack, and the dragon chop just now. Do you think I would not be able to kill your subordinates?" Long Fei had been controlling his power the entire time. After entering the Tianye village, his heart was even more sure. Long Fei looked at Meng Yu and said, "If I'm not wrong, this should be an examination." Meng Yu was extremely shocked in his heart, but he endured it and laughed loudly. "Since you know that this is an assessment, then I don't need to explain any further. You've lost, and you've failed the assessment. Long Fei, resign yourself to your fate. I wanted to tell you my identity when you were in dire straits, but I didn't expect you to have guessed everything. This way, I wouldn't have any trouble." Meng Yu laughed and ordered, "Put away all your weapons." "Wait." Long Fei shouted, "The examination has not ended, I have not failed. The word fate does not exist in my, Long Fei's, dictionary. The disciples of the Long family shall never be defeated." Meng Yu could not help but sneer, and said, "Do you still have a way out? You simply cannot escape. 3 days are almost up, whether it is the time or the way out, you do not have it." Hoo! Woo! Hoo! The cool breeze became bigger. A new day had begun. "It's finally here." Long Fei was slightly overjoyed as he looked at Meng Yu and said, "Didn't you just ask me what I was waiting for?" Meng Yu asked, "What are you waiting for?" He couldn't wait for anything. Just admit defeat. Long Fei felt the speed of the wind and said faintly, "I'm waiting for the wind." "Jump!" Long Fei suddenly shouted. Long Shan was stunned and immediately jumped down. Next, the other 3 people also jumped down. They had complete trust in Long Fei, even if they found out that Meng Yu was the Long family army right now. This was because Long Fei was the young master, the one who had risked his life to save him. This alone was enough. Meng Yu took a step forward and shouted, "Long Fei, don't." Long Fei grinned, "Remember, the next time we meet, you have to kneel in front of me, ha ha ha." Finished. Long Fei leaned back, and directly fell down. He shouted loudly, "Tell your generals, I, Long Fei, am not that easy to defeat." "Ah, oh. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha." Long Fei laughed wildly, and at the same time, shouted at Long Shan and the others, "True breath protection." The 4 of them did as they were told. Buzz buzz buzz. The 4 of them released their true breath to protect their bodies. Boom, boom boom. With a few successive sounds, they all fell into the lake. Meng Yu stood at the edge of the cliff, hearing the sound of the lake water splashing. The boulder in his heart fell. He immediately became as excited as a child, and said, "Too cool, F***CK. Long Fei, you are too handsome, ha ha ha." Chapter 82 Examination Failed. Chapter 82 Examination Failed. Long Fei and the other 2 swam out from the lake and went ashore. Long Shan asked, "Young lord, where are we going now?" "Long Army." Long Fei did not hesitate, this was their current destination. One of them said, "We were almost played to death this time. Do you still want to go?" "Yeah." They are too ruthless. Meng Yu's methods were indeed ruthless. They were forced to jump off a cliff. If they didn't wait for the wind to blow and deviate in some direction, they would be smashed to smithereens. Long Fei laughed, "The more ruthless you are, the more you have to go, and let them know that we aren't weaklings who can be pinched just because you want to. Don't you want to stomp over the Long family?" "Huh. Huh. To trample on the Long family's army. Long Shan gulped and murmured, I feel so excited just thinking about it. Ha ha ha. To trample on the Long family's army, this was what Long Fei wanted to do. Moreover, this would definitely be very exciting. If they wanted to subdue the high and mighty Long family army, they would have to trample on them. When facing soldiers, they could only crush them with force. Even if they crushed them to the point that they couldn't breathe, they wouldn't resent them. They would only admire them. This was the fastest way to gain recognition. Not long after Long Fei's group of 5 climbed onto the lake's surface, Meng Yu brought more than 300 Black Dragon Pioneer camp warriors with him and hurried back to Sleeping Dragon Valley, where the Long family's army was stationed. He wanted to tell her what had just happened. Right now, he wished he could fly over, because Long Fei had made him too excited. It had been a long time since he had been this excited. To him, Long Fei's completion of the mission could be said to be perfect. Noon. Sleeping Dragon Valley, Long family's military headquarters. Meng Yu excitedly told everything that happened in the past 3 days, as if he was a teacher lecturing under a bridge. In the end, Meng Yu didn't forget to say, young Master Long Fei is simply too handsome, everything is within his grasp. There are very few people that I, Meng Yu, admire, and now he can be considered one. The 4 generals were stunned. Long Yun revealed a smile and said, 3 senior fellow apprentices, how do you feel? I said he could. A cultivation at the War Spirit Realm had actually completed the hardest trial possible. It had to be said that this was a huge blow to their hearts, it was an impossible mission. Shock was shock. Long Lei said slightly, Meng Yu, you said earlier that there were 4 more Long family disciples with you? Meng Yu replied, they are traitors. They are simply unworthy of being members of the Long family, and even more unworthy of entering the Long family's army trial. Long Lei continued to ask, what is Long Fei's mission? Meng Yu was startled for a moment, then said, save the captured disciples of the Long family. With that, Meng Yu immediately said, Great General, Long Fei did indeed go and save them, but they sold out Long Fei. If it were not for them selling out, our Black Dragon Pioneer camp would not even know that Long Fei had entered the Skyline camp, this mission. Without waiting for him to finish, Long Lei's voice trembled, and interrupted Meng Yu. Tell me, were those last 4 people saved by Long Fei? Just tell me the answer. No, no, no. Meng Yu's brows tightened, and said anxiously, but. No but. A mission is a mission. If it's an examination, then it's an examination. If he didn't complete the mission, then he didn't pass the examination. My evaluation of Long Fei is unqualified, Long Lei said in a serious tone. Long Yun's face filled with anger. He walked forward and said, Great senior fellow apprentice, Meng Yu has already explained everything clearly, those 4 people are traitors of the Long family. Meng Yu then continued, Long Fei went to save them, and before he saved them, he knew that they had betrayed him, but he still went to save them. This means that even though Long Fei measured their abilities, he still wanted to save them. Great General, my personal evaluation of Long Fei is both wise and brave, and for him to be able to disregard life and death for his brother, I, Meng Yu, admire him. He had experienced it personally, so he admired Long Fei. How many people can do this? Isn't that young master being pampered in one of the big families in the Fireglass City? Who could possibly risk their life with an ordinary disciple and call them brothers? No. Long Fei can. So he admired it. Long Lei said indifferently, Meng Yu, a mission is a mission. If it's not a mission that you admire personally, then you've completed it. Moreover, he actually chose to jump off a cliff. What if he fell to his death? This method is against the Long family army. As a result, if he fails, we can return him back to his original form, back to the Fireglass City. Meng Yu was slightly agitated as he said, Great General, you're not at the scene, you don't even know the situation here. When we jumped down the cliff, Long Fei was extremely calm and accurate, even including the speed of the wind. This is the first time I, Meng Yu, have seen such an intelligent person. Great senior fellow apprentice, I know what you're thinking in your heart. Isn't it just because Long Fei's dragon blood activation is 0? Long Yun's face grew excited as well. She was happy for Long Fei. Long Lei's brows sunk, revealing a sneer filled with contempt. Long Yun, since you pointed it out first, then please see it clearly. His dragon blood activation is 0. What does that mean? This means that he's just a piece of trash. Useless. Do you understand? I will absolutely not allow this kind of trash to take charge of the Long family's army. Anybody can, only Long Fei the trash cannot. Straight to the point. Lei Long did not try to hide it anymore. I just despise him. He does not have the qualifications to become the supreme Long family master, and does not have the qualifications to command the Long family army, just like his father back then did not have the qualification. Of course. There were a few other factors behind looking down on Long Fei. Long Yun's brows also furrowed and his expression became cold. He shouted, Long Fei is Long Fei, and his father is his father. If he does not give up, he will be the supreme expert of the Long family. He could say anyone, but not Long Fei's father. Long Yun continued to be tough, and if he is willing to continue the assessment, I approve of his passing the first round of examination. Meng Yu also immediately stated his position, and said, I am the main examiner. Long Fei had perfectly completed the mission, and I approve of his passing. Long Lei glared at him and bellowed, You are not qualified to vote. Meng Yu scratched his head, laughed awkwardly, and said, I just want to express my views. Long Lei looked at his other 2 junior brothers, exhaled, and said, Since we disagree, then let us vote. I agree, Long Fei is not qualified. Please raise your hand. Long Lei raised his hand. Long Lei also raised his hand. Long Lei slightly said, Those who agree with Long Fei's decision to continue with the assessment, please raise your hands. Long Yun raised his hand. Long Feng hesitated for a moment before raising it as well. I think we should give him a chance. Meng Yu playfully raised both his hands and said, I agree with it with both of my hand. Long Lei glared at him and Meng Yu immediately became impotent, as he laughed foolishly. Long Lei laughed complacently, and said, Half against half, Long Fei. Halfway through, the result was that Long Fei had failed the examination. They were going to be beaten back to the Fire Glass City. At this time, Long Yun clenched his teeth and knelt down on one knee, begging, Great senior fellow apprentice, please give him one more chance. I am willing to use Yun Long army as a guarantee. If he fails the second time, I will be late to become the general of Yun Long army. Hey! Her! Sister Yun. Long Lei's heart burned with anger. He hated Long Fei's appearance from the bottom of his heart. Clenching his fists tightly, he then heaved a sigh of relief, suppressed his anger and shouted, Good. Long Yun, since you want to protect him, I'll give you one more chance. You don't need to waste your time on other exams. Immediately let him enter the final round of the ultimate trials. When Long Yun heard this, he became furious and said, Great senior fellow apprentice, do you want him to die inside? Long Lei sneered, and said, I just want him to die inside. Long Yun, I want to see if you can afford to gamble. Using the Yun Long army as a form of insurance made Long Lei even more furious, and the battle chi on his body instantly came crashing down. Battle chi filled the air. Using all his might to crush everything, Long Lei stared at Long Yun with fury. Long Yun clenched his fists and said, I bet. Chapter 83 Ultimate Examination. Chapter 83 Ultimate Examination. The Long Family Army, the Imperial Dragon Camp. Good wine and good dishes were served. Young Master, this mission will definitely be a perfect one. Great General must have decided to give you some big rewards. I just heard that this mission is the most difficult. Even the Grand Elder is only at the 3rd level of difficulty. Ha ha ha. Young Master, you are too powerful. Ha ha ha. This time, before Long Fei could call for him, Vice General Chen had already went out to welcome him. Moreover, she called out to the good wine and good dishes, afraid that she would neglect Long Fei. This made Long Fei a bit suspicious. Logically speaking, we should be allowed to meet the Great General or continue with the next round of examinations. Why is there no reaction at all? This is very abnormal. He did not know that Wolong Valley was quarreling uncontrollably for his examination results. Finally, the general of the Yun Long army, Long Yun, had actually used the entire Yun Long army as a guarantee, which was why he was able to keep Long Fei from continuing. Long Fei naturally did not know about any of this. Furthermore, they had not seen Meng Yu and the others ever since they had entered the Dragon Plains. Even Vice General Chen had disappeared. With just that one sentence, he had made them wait here. He waited for an entire afternoon, but no one came. Long Shan and the others were getting impatient. Isn't the Long family's speed a little too slow? What Long army? What exactly do you want us to do after waiting for so long? Aren't you bullying me too much? No, I have to go out and ask that Vice General Chen. Long Shan walked out of the main hall, but before he could step out, he was blocked by 2 guards. Please wait in the hall. Long Shan yelled in annoyance, wait your sister. We've already waited for an entire afternoon and you still want us to wait. What are you trying to do? The guard replied, our order was to not let you leave the hall. As for what you're waiting for, we don't know. Please go back, and don't make things difficult for us. I'd like to see what you guys are up to. As he spoke, Long Shan wanted to force his way in. The guard shouted, catcher, catcher, catcher. In the blink of an eye, the entire hall was completely surrounded. The 3 floors, the 3rd floor, the crossbows, the long spear soldiers, they were all so surrounded that not even a drop of water could leak out. Long Shan was not scared, and shouted, you think we are scared? Do you know who it is? Long Fei said slightly, Long Shan, let's wait. We will just wait, then come back and continue drinking and eating. This situation was not like the situation in Skyline Camp. Long Fei could feel a murderous aura from these warriors. As long as Long Fei dared to barge in, they would dare to shoot arrows. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that something was amiss. In the evening, a sumptuous dinner was served in the main hall. In addition, a woman in general's armor, who looked to be around 30 years old, walked into the hall and immediately locked Long Fei up. In the instant she looked at Long Fei, her eyes trembled lightly. The corners of her eyes were a little moist, and her eyes still carried an endless amount of yearning. No, it was a very complicated look of longing. Long Fei was secretly startled. He had never seen the woman in front of him before, but why was she looking at him like that? The woman was Long Yun. The moment she saw Long Fei, her heart sank. It's really similar, too similar. It's exactly the same. And then, Long Yun walked forward and ordered, fill up their wine cups. I have something important to announce. Long Shan said in a low voice, young master, she should be General Long Yun. I heard that she's the only female general in the Long family's army. Long Yun. Long Fei didn't have any impression of him in his heart. The 5 of them raised their wine cups, and Long Yun smiled, congratulations on passing the assessment. Finished. She finished it in one gulp. Can the military drink? Long Fei asked in his heart. They were different, they were not the Long family's troops, drinking alcohol was normal, but Long Yun was a general. He did not think too deeply about it and downed the wine as well. Long Yun looked at Long Fei, his smile somewhat bitter as he said, you completed your mission very well, even better than your father. I'm happy for you. Long Fei, come out with me for a bit. Long Yun couldn't control himself. That year, she, Long Lei, and Long Fei's father had all come here to participate in the Long family army's examination, but they had all. It was also the time when his father met Long Fei's mother. Later, Long Fei's father abandoned the exam and brought his mother back to the Fireglass City. At that time, Long Yun's heart felt like it was being torn apart. In the end, she passed the examination with a perfect score and chose to stay. After 16 years, she had never returned to Fireglass City. She gave everything she had to the Long family. Becoming one of the 4 great generals, the Yun Long army that was trained to be invincible and the existence with the strongest fighting strength. He was putting so much effort just to forget Long Fei's father. However, the moment she saw Long Fei, the longing in her heart burst forth, and she couldn't control it anymore. Long Fei followed Long Yun silently. Only when Long Yun stopped did he stop, and Long Fei did not ask anything along the way. In his heart, he always felt that Long Yun was very friendly. All of you can leave now, Long Yun said to the guard standing guard. Yes, General. The guards retreated. Long Yun looked at the setting sun and said indifferently, "Do you know why I called you out alone?" Long Fei shook his head and said, "I don't know." Long Yun looked at Long Fei and smiled. "Tonight, you will enter the ultimate examination. In order to survive in the wilderness, you must kill 1 5-level monster, 10 4-rating monster and beasts, and 100 3-rate monster and beast within a month. You must also find your way back to Wolong Valley. Kill demon beasts." Just thinking about it, Long Fei felt that this mission was tailor-made for him, but is the 5-level monster a bit too cruel? Thinking about the large power King Kong ape, his scalp felt numb. It was still very difficult for him to deal with the 5-level monster by himself. Long Yun exhaled, and said, "These are all secondary. You will be sent to the depths of demon territory, which is to say, the depths of hundreds of thousands of barren mountains. The demons will catch you. Other than killing demon beasts, you must also escape from them. It can be said that this mission has a slim chance of survival. Based on your current cultivation, the probability of completing it is 0, you can give up. Are all the Long Army soldiers this ruthless? This is a trial, this is complete suicide." Long Fei retorted, then said firmly, "I won't give up. I don't want to disappoint my uncle, and also don't want to disappoint my grandfather. What's more, Long Fei had his own plans. He had come here for the sake of leveling up and breaking through. He had to go deeper into the hundreds of thousands of barren mountains to find that fire dragon. I need to use dragon blood to treat the injuries on Grandpa's body. Give up the quest. It was simply impossible." Chapter 84, A Wild Girl Dressed in a Leopard Tattoo. Chapter 84, A Wild Girl Dressed in a Leopard Tattoo. Long Fei's dictionary did not have the word give up. Since he promised to come to the Long Army's trial, he definitely wouldn't give up. The Long family was waiting for him. His eldest uncle was waiting for him to rise in power while his grandfather was waiting for his dragon blood. Moreover, Long Fei had to rise up, to the point where even the 3 pillars and the royal family were afraid of him. Only then would no one dare to touch the Long family. This way, he would be able to carry the flag of the Long family. He had to do it too, because he was a member of the Long family. Long Yun laughed softly, looked at Long Fei's resolute expression and muttered, "It was just like what your father did all those years ago, but after your father." At this moment, "You know my father?" Long Fei's vision became a little blurry as multiple illusions appeared in front of his eyes. He muttered, "I'm so dizzy. What wine did you give us to drink?" Long Yun supported Long Fei and said indifferently, "Drunken dragon wine, get some sleep. If even dragons could get drunk on this kind of wine, how could humans do anything about it?" Slowly, Long Fei closed his eyes. Long Yun let Long Fei lean against him as he watched the sunset. His eyes were filled with endless longing as he muttered to himself in a low voice, "Brother Ting, are you alright? Your son is also going to enter the demon territory's trial. Did I do the right thing, or did I do wrong? Back then you took away the holy maiden, and now Long Fei is going to participate in the trial as well. Will he do the same?" Long Yun laughed bitterly, let out a long breath, and continued, "If that time we didn't choose the most difficult mission, you wouldn't have left the Long family, and I would have become your wife. Long Fei might have been our child. Here. Brother Ting, I really missed you." As he spoke, Long Yun's tears began to flow uncontrollably. Tears streamed down his face. This was the second time in 16 years that she had cried. The first time was when Long Zhanting left. Night fell. A squad of Long family cavalry quickly entered the hundreds of thousands of barren mountains. Hundreds of thousands of barren mountains. Although it was called a desolate mountain, it was actually a dense forest inside. It was extremely dark during the day, and even the night was pitch black. There were countless beasts hidden in the mountains. Because of this special geographical location, the demon beasts here were even more ferocious than those in the other mountain ranges. In addition, many demon beasts also know how to use magic to attack from a distance. This type of ranged attack only had one attribute, the fire attribute. Legend. In the past, when the wildfire burned in the prairie, the hundreds of thousands of barren mountains had absorbed an endless amount of fire essence. Other than that, in the mountains, The most terrifying thing was the evil spirits. Some looked like humans, but there were also some that looked like demonic beasts, and their blood lineage belonged to the demonic clan. Innate strength. In addition, it was incomparably bloodthirsty, and its hatred for humans was especially strong. It could be said that he could kill anyone he met. The night passed quickly. Early morning. One of the mounted guards said, "The demon territory is right in front of us. Throw him into the Scarlet Flame Valley." "Isn't that a bit too cruel?" "We will do as you say. This is General Long Lei's order." After entering the demon territory, who would be able to come back alive and kill demonic beasts? This is impossible. I really don't know why General Long Lei would want to test Long Fei like this. Don't you want him to die? It wasn't General Long Lei who was going to take the test on Long Fei at all, but General Long Yun, who didn't even hesitate to use the Yun Long army as a guarantee. If not for General Long Yun, Long Fei would have already been sent back to the Fireglass City. I heard that the Long family is currently very unstable, and has been completely crushed by the Three Pillars and the royal family. So what? As long as our Long family's army is still here, who would dare touch a single hair on the Long family's head? That's true. After chatting for a while, they put Long Fei down. Actually, on the way, Long Fei had woken up. Listening to their conversation, he thought to himself, I actually used the Yun Long army as my guarantee. Long Fei felt very bad in his heart. Recalling the words he vaguely heard while he was unconscious, Long Fei muttered in his heart, "Has father been here before? Is mother also a member of the evil demon clan? Just what sort of past has General Long Yun had?" Long Fei's brain wasn't strong enough. At this moment, the Iron Cavalry Guard spoke to Long Fei, who was pretending to be unconscious. "Brat, don't blame me if you die. This is the path that you have chosen, finish it yourself." After he finished speaking, he was about to throw Long Fei down the canyon. The canyon was unfathomably deep. If he were to throw it down like this, it would at least cost him half his life. Long Fei immediately struggled and crawled up from the ground, saying, "I think it's better if I walk down myself." "Heh!" His voice startled everyone. Long Fei patted the dirt on her body and said, "I'll have to trouble you to go back and tell General Long Yun that I won't let her down. At the same time, I will also tell your General Long Lei that I will step on his face and make him kneel in front of me and sing conquer." Finished. Long Fei didn't even turn his head as he walked towards the canyon. The 6 steel cavalry were completely stunned. He stepped on General Long Lei's face, made him kneel down and sing conquer. This brat. Isn't he too arrogant? What an arrogant tone. I don't even know how he died. Forget it, don't bother with a dead man. Let's go. He woke up early. Will he come back with us? Do you want to stay here for a few days? No need, going back with us is also a mission failure. You must know that he also wants to hunt 5-level monster. Let's go back, this place is too dangerous. Long Fei did not think about leaving. Step by step, his steps were incomparably firm. He wanted to find that fire dragon. If possible, he also wanted to find some information regarding his father. Because it would help him find his father. Grandfather's unhappiness made Long Fei feel that he greatly missed his father. If he could find his father, his grandfather would definitely be very happy. Huff. I forgot to ask. I wonder what Long Shan's group is doing now. Will they be thrown into the hundreds of thousands of barren mountains to cultivate as well? Long Fei was a little worried. After walking for about half an hour, the sky had already brightened, but the gorge was still shrouded in fog, making it very difficult to see. Suddenly, help! A girl's cry for help came from the depths of the canyon. After the cry for help, a gigantic crimson stone that looked like a ball of fire was quickly moving. Long Fei's eyes moved. Human? Instantly. True Breath moved, it immediately accelerated and rushed into the depths of the canyon. Rumble. 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 Powerful collision sounds came from the canyon and the entire canyon was shaking. The cries for help became more and more urgent and more intense. Help! Help! A huge rock with sparks on it shot towards a wild girl who was wearing leopard stripe beast skin and holding a javelin. The girl had nowhere to run. He opened his eyes, but he was not afraid. He grinned and said, "I'm going to die. So happy to die. Danger." A figure landed, picked up the girl and instantly leaped, dodging the huge boulder. At the same time, Long Fei saw it clearly. That demonic beast. Lava Titan. Chapter 85 I Am a Leopard Girl. Chapter 85 I Am a Leopard Girl. Boom. Sparks flew in all directions, and gravel flew everywhere. Long Fei held the leopard-tattooed girl and quickly jumped, dodging the attack. The leopard-tattooed girl was in Long Fei's embrace as she stared at him without moving. Her eyes were filled with curiosity as she muttered, "Is he a human?" The lava titan became even more furious after losing his prey. Holding onto the cliff with one hand, he used his 2 stone legs to support himself. His body curled and turned into a giant fireball, shooting towards Long Fei and the others. Holy sh**. Long Fei's eyes turned cold. Is this enlargement stroke? The lava titan was exactly the same as the stone golems from a game in his previous life. He was made of extremely hard rocks. Red light shone from the cracks in the rocks, and his body was exuding a scorching aura that made it hard for people to breathe. He then looked at the leopard-tattooed wild maiden in his arms. With a large ponytail, 2 large eyes, and a leopard print shirt covering 3 points, This was also the leopard girl from that game. Stone man against leopard girl? Oh my god. Long Fei shook his head and said to himself, "My poison is too strong, this is just a coincidence." It was also at this moment that the leopard-tattooed girl warned in a soft voice, "Dodge. If you don't dodge soon, you'll be hit by the big monster's head." Hee. After saying that, he laughed excitedly. Long Fei really could not understand, how could he laugh in the face of death? He didn't have time to figure it out. Because the lava titan was truly enlargement stroke. It instantly attacked like a bolt of lightning. There was no way to dodge it. It was too fast, and had already exceeded twice Long Fei's speed. Hiding was definitely impossible, so Long Fei put the leopard-tattooed girl down gently and said with a smile, "Don't worry." The moment he turned around, Long Fei's expression instantly changed, and he roared out fiercely in his heart, "Wushuang." Buzz. Double attribute power exploded out, the true breath was burning, exploding. Long Fei's right fist sank. The muscles of his right arm tensed up, causing his clothes to burst apart. Magic power of right hand. Bang, bang, bang. Energy resonated from his right arm for 3 seconds. Facing the gigantic lava titan, Long Fei punched his fist out. The panther-tattooed maiden said in astonishment, "Is he an idiot?" The lava titan was a peak rank 3 beast, and it also carried the power of fire. Ordinary meat fists would immediately burn if they hit it, and this kind of beast could only attack from afar, but Long Fei actually attacked it with his fist. At this moment, rumble, rumble, rumble. The power shook the sky and sparks flew in all directions. Long Fei's arm was numb, his bones were cracking, and his fist was burnt. The pain was unbearable. The lava titan's body exploded into pieces and let out a miserable scream. The flames on his body became stronger as well, and in the instant that he was sent flying by Long Fei. Woo woo. With a roar, he turned into a fireball and struck Long Fei. Holy sh**. Long Fei cursed and swallowed a true pill. I don't believe it. Mountain hit fist. Magic power of right hand. Ding. Trigger critical chance attribute. Damage increased by 200%. Relying on the magic power of right hand alone was impossible. The release of the divine power required time to condense, and it was impossible to release its strongest power in such a short period of time. It could only be integrated into the mountain hit fist. These 2 powers both came from large power King Kong Ape S, and the compatibility between the 2 powers reached 90%, allowing the user to release the strength almost perfectly. Coupled with the critical hit triggered by the luck attribute, Long Fei leaped into the air, and with a hug of his fists, he formed the form of a war axe. At this moment, an incomparably large power King Kong Ape image superimposed on his body. Catcher. The power was like a bolt of lightning, striking down. It struck the head of the lava titan. Bam. Rumble. One punch kill. The lava titan's body exploded as sparks filled the air, as if coal had been split into pieces. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 15,000 EXP for defeating Lava Titan, 400 True Breath and 1 Energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Lava Heart. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Essence of Fire. 1 point. Would you like to fuse it? A few notifications sounded. Long Fei checked it. Item, Heart of Lava description, enhancement of cultivation technique strength. Fusion success and receiving 10% increase in strength from the Lava Titan. Success rate 10%. Do you want to fuse them? Fuse. This is your fusion technique, please. Long Fei was silent for a moment, then said, Mountain hit Fizz. Ding. Begin fusion. A few seconds later, the system's voice rang out, fusion failed. Damn. What a waste of my expression. Long Fei cursed in his heart as he looked at the other item, Fire Essence Chi. What is this? Item, Essence of Fire description, a type of fire element that increases the success rate of forging artifacts and increases the fire attribute of weapons. Description 2, 100 ignited profound Chi can be fused together. This thing is pretty good. Long Fei was secretly delighted. Back in Fireglass City, he was only thinking of when he could refine some exclusive weapons. With Fire Essence Spirit, his success rate would be even higher. It was the auxiliary power of refining, and was quite good. 90% of all hundreds of thousands of Barren Mountains' demon beasts were fire-attributed demon beasts. As long as they were killed, they would be able to obtain Fire Essence, and obtaining 100% of the Fire Essence would not be too difficult. Just when Long Fei was thinking about when he could start the refining process, the leopard-tattooed girl's voice came from behind him. You are you a human? He killed the Lava Titan with a single punch. The leopard-tattooed girl was extremely shocked, looking at Long Fei's back with incomparable worship. Huh! Long Fei turned around and looked at the leopard-tattooed girl with his eyes. He nodded and said, Aren't you a human? Suddenly, Long Fei realized a very important problem. This was the demon territory. Was the leopard-tattooed girl in front of him an evil demon? Was there such a beautiful demon? In the legends, weren't all demons hideous and hideous demons? The leopard-tattooed girl's skin was white without a single blemish. There wasn't even a little bit of excess flesh on her body. She had a perfect and flawless cultivation. Moreover, the upper and lower regions of the body should be larger, while the upper regions should be larger. The twin peaks were covered in leopard stripes, and the veins could be vaguely seen. Between the two peaks, there was an unfathomable deep ravine. On her slender white legs, that little fart stuck out so much that it would make one's imagination run wild. Her figure was extremely hot. She was a perfect beauty. Was this an evil demon? Was there such a beautiful demon? Long Fei's mind was in a bit of a mess. Long Fei looked at her without blinking, completely unaffected. Her two big eyes were motionless as she giggled. I'm not a human, I'm a leopard girl. Chapter 86, Don't You Want to Be My Husband? Chapter 86, Don't You Want to Be My Husband? Huh! The leopard girl. Long Fei was slightly shocked, and said, Leopard girl? But you look just like a human, and I don't see that you look like a leopard girl. Besides the leopard print barrier on your body and the leopard pattern inner core. The leopard-tattooed maiden glanced at her clothes, then giggled. My father let me cover him. I feel very annoyed. Sometimes, it's very hot. I don't even wear it. Since it's hot, then take it off. Long Fei's eyes flashed, and subconsciously said. The leopard-tattooed lady said innocently, Daddy said that I can only show it to my future husband. Do you want to see it? I want to be my husband. Huh! Long Fei really wanted to see it, really wanted to see it. He had never seen a woman's body in his life except for a few island movies. However, when he saw her innocent eyes, he immediately felt that he was too evil. He put away his lecherous heart and laughed. Your father is right, the girl's body should be shown to his future husband, we must not let those evil and wicked people see it. Too naive. The big eyes were shining. It was truly a pain that no one could bear to hurt. Beast. Long Fei cursed in his heart, such a naive girl, you think you can take her hand? Oh. The leopard-tattooed girl was somewhat unhappy. She mumbled to herself, don't you want to be my husband? Cough, cough, cough. Long Fei choked on her words and coughed, isn't it too direct? The leopard-tattooed lady continued, if you become my husband, I can show it to you. Furthermore, you saved me. Father said that I can repay you for saving my life. I can give my body to you. She had an innocent look on her face as she spoke. Very serious. He wasn't joking at all. As long as Long Fei agreed with a nod, she would immediately unbutton her clothes. Long Fei was really a little silly. He admitted that he was a little wretched, but when facing the leopard-tattooed young lady, his wretched heart could not begin to leach. He really couldn't bear to do so. The leopard girl in front of him seemed to know nothing. It was as pure as a piece of white paper. He couldn't bear to hurt her, so he just wanted to take good care of her. Now, Long Fei believed that she was no longer a human. Even if she was still a primordial human. Long Fei looked at the leopard girl's wild and sexy body, trying hard to calm himself down, and said, it's not that I don't want to, but I can't. Long Fei thought about what Yi Xian had said in the Fireglass Mountain Range's cave, and he sighed with emotion. In terms of people, why is there such a huge gap? If they were all like the leopard girl, how great that would be. The leopard girl muttered to herself for half a minute and then said, it's too complicated, I really can't figure it out. But now I understand one thing, humans are not bad people. Daddy told me since I was a kid that humans are the most sinister and vicious villains in this world. So it turns out that he had lied to me for so many years. Humph. You still want to trick me into marrying Xiao Hu, th. Big liar. While they were talking, the leopard girl had an angry look on her face. She looked very cute when she was angry. Long Fei laughed and asked, what are you doing here? The leopard girl giggled and said, I ran away from home. My father wanted me to marry Xiao Hu, who was next door to the feral tiger tribe. I didn't like him, so I ran away. Hee hee. How is it? I must be very powerful. A young girl escaping from marriage? Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief, looked at the leopard girl's cute and playful appearance, and laughed bitterly. Awesome. Receiving Long Fei's praise, the leopard girl became even happier and said, that Xiao Hu always wanted to see my body. I don't want to show him, I hate him. However, for some reason, my father likes him a lot. He says that he is the most outstanding genius of the tribe, but I don't think so. Her small mouth slightly pouted. Her mischievous appearance was really too lovable. Seeing her, Long Fei's mood couldn't help but improve, and he started to laugh loudly. I don't think so too. The leopard girl giggled again and said, I think you are stronger than Xiao Hu because you just killed the rock monster. Hee hee. Long Fei laughed and asked, just now when you were in a desperate situation, you were about to die, why are you still laughing? He really didn't understand it. The leopard girl looked up at the sky and murmured, Mother said that happiness is only a day, and unhappiness is also a day. If I had to face everything with a smile, I would have to face it. Moreover, Father said that Mother was in the sky, but I knew that Mother would only go to the sky after death. I missed Mother so much, so much. He didn't know why. Long Fei was a little unable to control himself, and the corners of his eyes were slightly wet. Looking at the leopard girl's yearning-filled eyes, his heart tightened. Where's my mother? Where are you? Every hint of kinship was incomparably precious to Long Fei. Even though his soul had transmigrated, he had truly taken everything in this body as his own. Grandfather, Jojo, the parents who mysteriously disappeared. His heart was filled with worry. As the two of them walked, no one spoke. The leopard girl was like a shadow as she silently followed behind Long Fei. After walking for around an hour, he finally walked out of Scarlet Flame Valley. Facing the endless primal forest, Long Fei also did not know where he was going. Long Fei stopped. The leopard girl did not sense it. She knocked head-on into Long Fei's body, rubbed her little head, and giggled. Long Fei looked at the leopard girl and asked, Where are you going? The leopard girl had a blank look in her eyes, and said, I don't know either, but I don't want to return to the tribe. Daddy will definitely force me to marry Xiao Hu. Right, where are you going? Long Fei thought for a moment, then said, I am in the trial, and during this period of time, I will be hunting demon beasts to complete my mission. Hunting demon beasts? Hearing this, I feel very excited. Then take me with you, I can hunt demon beasts too. The leopard girl's eyes carried a trace of begging, and her large eyes blinked as she looked at Long Fei. It was a look no one could refuse. Long Fei said, You can follow me, but you are not allowed to act carelessly, you have to listen to my commands. Yes, my lord. The leopard girl leaped up on the spot, as happy as a little girl who got her candy. Oh, hunting demon beasts. As he spoke, he rushed down. Long Fei smiled in his heart, and said, Slow down. A few hours after Long Fei and the leopard girl entered the Primeval Forest. Several fierce tiger mask soldiers were searching for something in Scarlet Flame Valley. A warrior picked up a broken javelin and immediately leaped to the side of a burly, muscular youth. He said respectfully, Young lord, she must have been here before. Keep searching. The burly youth's eyes were filled with rage as he shouted in a deep voice, Little wild cat, I want to see where you can escape to. Chapter 87, Strengthening Refining Techniques. Chapter 87, Strengthening Refining Techniques. Scarlet Flame Valley belonged to the demon territory. Fortunately, Long Fei was not caught by the evil demon. At the same time, he also suffered greatly because the leopard girl was really, It's here, it's here, it's here. She jumped down from a large tree and shouted anxiously to Long Fei before leaping into the air like a vigorous cheetah, accurately jumping into Long Fei's embrace. Her two slender arms were hanging around Long Fei's neck, and with a scared look on her face, she said, Come, there are a lot of demon beasts coming, I'm scared. Beneath the leopard pattern barrier, there was a bottomless gully. The veins could be clearly seen, as well as the meatball that was about to burst out. Long Fei didn't care at all, and said bitterly, My little ancestor, can you not be like this? Rumble, rumble, rumble. A large group of demon beasts madly rushed out like a bulldozer. The towering trees were uprooted, dust rolled up in the air, and thousands of soldiers and horses came rushing out. Long Fei didn't even think as he hugged the leopard girl and escaped crazily. If he didn't run now, he would die here. Hurry up, we're about to catch up. Big brother Long Fei, do your best. Big brother Long Fei, do your best. Beasts, you guys are too weak, hey. Big brother Long Fei is the most handsome. After a day of not killing a single demon beast, Long Fei was completely on the run as he was chased by group after group of demon beasts until he pissed his pants. 2 hours later. Hoo. Long Fei panted as he looked at the leopard girl, and said, Little ancestor, can you not be like this? You want the demon beasts to kill me, right? The leopard girl giggled and said, Big brother Long Fei, this is too fun. Let's play a bit more. Me. Long Fei almost vomited a mouthful of blood. There was really nothing he could do about it. The leopard girl was very wild and naive, adding on to that adorable pair of big eyes, it was simply a combination of a devil and an angel. Every time he wanted to get angry, Long Fei would not be able to. It's too exciting, I've never played with such a thrill before. The leopard girl was still immersed in the process of Long Fei fleeing for his life, extremely excited. You're too exciting, I almost lost my life. Long Fei consumed a true pill and recovered a lot of true breath. If this goes on, let alone leveling up to breakthrough, I won't even be able to keep my life. Long Fei muttered in his heart. Watching the night gradually darken, he said, Let's find a place to rest first. She'll always be sleepy at night. Do you want to sleep? At the very least, I can kill some demonic beasts at night to level up, right? Long Fei thought bitterly in his heart. He found a small cave. He set up a bonfire and roasted a hare. The leopard girl looked at the rabbit on the fire rack drooling like a little girl and kept swallowing her saliva. Long Fei tore off a rabbit leg and passed it to the leopard girl. Eat it. The leopard girl giggled. For me? Thank you, big brother Long Fei. After which, he took it and started wolfing it down. Slow down, it's hot. Long Fei said with a smile. In less than 10 seconds, the leopard girl looked at Long Fei with her blinking eyes, and said with a fawning smile, "Big brother Long Fei, I want more. Why are all of them foodies?" Long Fei then tore off another rabbit leg, and with an idea in his mind, he asked, "Do you like barbecue?" The leopard girl quickly nodded and said, "I like it, I really like it. I've never eaten anything so delicious before." Long Fei said, "Roasting demon beast meat is even better. If you want to eat it, you can come with me tomorrow to kill the demon beasts. But remember this, you must not attract a group of demon beasts, otherwise you won't have demon beast meat to eat." The leopard girl looked at Long Fei with her big eyes and said, "Must we kill them?" His eyes were like those of a pitiful little animal. The demon beasts were incomparably savage, but to her, they were like small animals. Long Fei's heart was about to melt, but he still said resolutely, "They are all bad demon beasts. If we don't kill them, they will eat us, so if you want to kill them, you have to listen to me." "Oh." The leopard girl's expression was somewhat downcast. She did not receive the barbecue as quickly as she did the first time. Looking at the barbecue in her hand, she hesitated for a long time. In the end, he did not eat it and put it aside. What kind of girl is she? Long Fei did not understand. The leopard girl was around 15 years old. This was only her outer appearance. However, her mental age was only 6 or 7 years that of a human. She was still in the naive and innocent stage of liking animals. They had no idea how savage the demon beasts were. Long Fei's heart trembled. "I have to learn to grow up by myself." At night, the leopard girl's body shrunk into a ball as her brows tightly knitted together. She cried out in her sleep, "Daddy, I don't want to marry him, I don't want to marry Xiao Hu. Mother, where are you? I really miss you. I really, really miss you." 2 tears rolled down from the corner of his eyes. Long Fei felt pain in his heart when he saw them. "Huff. Don't worry. With me here, no one can force you to do anything," Long Fei said softly, and then exited the cave, covering up the outside properly. He moved and quickly jumped out. Shua. He disappeared from the spot in the blink of an eye. Dragon Salya technique. Boom. Skin split, bone split, tendons broken, divine split. 7 moves were unleashed in less than a second. The accumulated blade aura was released under Long Fei's control, and 1 secondary monster was killed. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing. Toading skill. Surge true breath, strangle him, whoosh. Long Fei's body was like a giant toad, smashing into the spirit demon beast. The moment he bumped into the beast, true breath rushed up and drilled into the beast's stomach. His internal organs suddenly turned sinister, as though they were meat grinder. The spirit demon beast continuously vomited blood, and its body swayed as it crashed onto the ground. Ding. Another notification sounded. Whoosh wang. Boom. His strength increased exponentially. Mountain hit Fis. Both of his hands exploded and a shadow of a large power King Kong ape appeared on his body. He struck down heavily and smashed a demon beast's head into the ground. Ding. Congratulations. Long Fei used skills every time he attacked. The higher the level of the skill, the greater the attack damage. Furthermore, Long Fei was only able to get more familiar with the attributes of this technique. One slash was fiercer than the other. His damage was off the charts. Other than increasing the power from leveling up and becoming stronger, leveling up skills was also a way to become stronger. As long as one could become stronger, Long Fei would not let that go. All night, Long Fei kept on killing one level 2 demon beast after another. His experience didn't increase very quickly, but his skill, proficiency, had increased by a lot. Ding. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for absorbing 100% of the fire essence and releasing the enhanced refining techniques. Strengthen. Chapter 88. He is a handsome man all over the world. Chapter 88. He is a handsome man all over the world. The idea moved. 3 seconds later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully strengthening his refining techniques. The reward is 1000 experience, 100 true breath and 100 points. Skill path, refining techniques, enhanced, grade, Level 1 yellow grade, the higher the level, the higher the grade. Proficiency, 0-100 consumption, 10 true breath, the higher the grade, the greater the consumption. Strengthening, increased control of the fire element by 10%. Forging weapons has a 10% chance of receiving a fire spirit attack. Increases success rate against fire-attributed weapons by 10%. The strengthened refining techniques could be said to be a top-grade refining techniques. Because it had an additional 10% chance of creating a fire spirit weapon, which meant that it was an attack weapon of the highest attribute. It could also be called a top-grade weapon. Long Fei was secretly delighted. I can still strengthen it, but when I reach 100% of the refining techniques, every time I forge a top-grade weapon, it would be great. Early morning. Long Fei carried the 2 wild chickens back to the cave. The leopard girl was still sleeping soundly, but a faint smile hung on her face, revealing 2 shallow dimples. Her smile was very cute, as if she was in a beautiful dream. Big brother Long Fei, you're really too handsome, he. You're a good person. Be my husband and warm my bed, hey. He was talking in his sleep again. Long Fei smiled. Silly girl, at such a young age, you are already looking forward to your husband's warm bed. Isn't it a little too early to be thinking about love? He picked up some branches and started to cook the chicken. Not long after, the fragrance spread in all directions. The leopard girl moved her nose, and her stomach started to growl. Her eyes slowly opened, and like a lazy cat, she stretched her body and rubbed her eyes, then walked out. When she saw Long Fei not too far away from her, she immediately pounced on him. Exhilarating as she pounced on Long Fei's back, her 2 slender jade hands wrapped around Long Fei's neck, her entire person hanging on Long Fei's body. She giggled, I want to eat, I want to eat. Long Fei's back was pressed down by 2 soft, bouncing lumps of flesh. That feeling. It was too wonderful. He had to say it. The leopard girl was completely unguarded against him. Long Fei carried her down from his body and said, Go wash your face first, then you can eat. After breakfast. Long Fei no longer brought the leopard girl to hunt the demon beasts like he did yesterday. He still wanted to live for a few more years. Moreover, he did not want to be too bloody in front of the leopard girl. Big brother Long Fei, I found a fire spirit grass. The leopard girl jumped to Long Fei's side happily and held onto a fire spirit grass. Her face was covered in mud and she laughed extremely happily. To her, being able to help Long Fei was the happiest thing in the world. Awesome. Long Fei praised as he took out the yet to take shape fire spirit grass. The leopard girl became even happier, he. During the day, Long Fei and the female leopard harvested spiritual herbs. The spirit herbs and demon beasts of the hundreds of thousands of barren mountains had a common ground. Their attributes were filled with fire element. In any case, the void spirit ring was large enough, so he would definitely be able to use it later on. During the second half of the night, Long Fei mysteriously disappeared in order to hunt demon beasts crazily. 3 days passed in a row. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Spirit. Long Fei moved his hand and checked the attributes. Player, Long Fei level 3 War Spirit experience points, 10215000000 true breath value, 3800, full, skills, toading skill, 2nd level of spirit, dragon salya technique, 2nd level of spirit, mountain hit fist, 2nd level of spirit, 2nd level of the spirit beast's ability, energy values, 100 points lucky value, 10 points integral value, 1490 points war pet, Xiao Bai, infant. A series of attributes appeared in Long Fei's mind. Looking at the experience required to level up, Long Fei was secretly shocked. Right now, leveling up is getting harder and harder. Leveling up requires 1.5 million experience points, F***K. Moreover, as Long Fei's level rose, the level 1 monster's experience would decrease accordingly. Only by killing high-level beasts would it gain abundant experience. These 3 days, Long Fei's skill and proficiency had increased by a lot, and his comprehension in toading skill and dragon salya technique had become deeper and deeper. Cultivating a divine level skill to the great perfection stage would definitely be very satisfying. Long Fei looked at the sky. It's almost dawn, prepare breakfast. Suddenly, ah! A shrill scream pierced the night sky. Then, Big Brother Long Fei, quickly save me. Crap! The leopard girl. Long Fei's eyes darkened, his figure became as fast as lightning, and he quickly teleported out. Another scream came from the distance. Ah! Big Brother Long Fei. Big Brother Long Fei. Long Fei. His figure went further and further away, finally disappearing completely. Long Fei pursued continuously. When he returned to the cave, the leopard girl was no longer there. The surroundings were a mess. Even the javelin that the leopard girl brought with her was broken with one stomp. Crack! Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, the anger in his heart burst out, and his gaze locked onto the depths of demon territory. I promise you, no one can force you to do anything you don't want to. If anyone dares to bully you, I will make them regret coming to this world. Then the innocent girl should live happily every day, instead of forcing her to do something she didn't want to do. Whether it was his father or that Xiao Hu from the feral tiger tribe, none of them were allowed. Long Fei was enraged. In the past 3 days, he had been living quite happily. He was already used to the leopard girl being naughty, accustomed to her innocence, accustomed to her sleep talk, and deep in his heart, the leopard girl should be carefree all her life. He had to protect this girl. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk. Wait for me. I will definitely save you. Long Fei was like a wolf shuttling through the forest. Standing on top of a large tree, he asked in a low voice, Xiao Bai, where is it? Xiao Bai sniffed, Master, to the west. Shua. Long Fei stomped his feet, and his body formed an arc in the air. In the blink of an eye, he was already a dozen meters away. Young Master, should we send her to the wild leopard tribe, or? A man wearing a feral tiger helmet asked. Xiao Hu sneered, and said, if we directly bring them back to a tribe of tigers and tigers, there's only a popular saying among humans, it would be to cook rice raw. When that time comes, even if the little wild cat disagrees, there's nothing we can do, ha ha ha. Young Lord is wise. Young Master, that wild leopard tribe leader over there. Xiao Hu's eyes were filled with contempt as he said, if anyone in the wild leopard tribe dares to disapprove, my fierce tiger tribe will immediately eliminate him. That old leopard isn't that stupid. He knows very well the situation of his tribe. Only by marrying his daughter to me can he save his tribe, ha ha ha. At this moment, the leopard girl woke up from her coma and said fiercely, my big brother Long Fei will not let you go. He will definitely come to save me. Big brother Long Fei. Xiao Hu was startled, he looked at his subordinates. Those people all shook their heads, and said, I've never heard of anyone called Long Fei in the wild leopard tribe. The leopard girl said proudly, he is the most handsome man in the world and also my future husband. Pa, Xiao Hu slapped him hard, bitch, I'm your husband. The 5 finger marks on the leopard girl's face could clearly be seen as her 2 eyes stared at Xiao Hu. She did not cry, nor did she cry out in pain, but instead, she stared straight at Xiao Hu. Chapter 89, I want to stay until my wedding night. Chapter 89, I want to stay until my wedding night. Wolong Valley. On the mountaintop, Long Yun looked at the boundless hundreds of thousands of barren mountains and muttered, Long Fei, how are you right now? 5 days passed without any news. She was worried, but there was nothing she could do. Once, his father had not finished walking the path that he had chosen. Now that it was Long Fei's turn, would he be able to walk out safely? Long Lei walked over and laughed, I'm afraid that he is already dead. Long Yun's face darkened, and said unhappily, Senior fellow apprentice, are you that eager for Long Fei to die? What good will it do you if he dies? Ha ha ha. Long Lei laughed, I am just looking forward to his death. Back then, his father should have died inside. You. Long Yun's eyes were filled with anger as he stared at Long Lei. Long Lei's body began to emit anger, and he said, if it wasn't for Long Zhanting, you wouldn't be the current you. I hate him, and I also hate his son. Trash with 0 dragon blood activation, this is the punishment of the heavens for Long Zhanting, ha ha ha. I'll tell you one more thing. Do you know where Long Fei was thrown? Scarlet Flame Valley, That's the territory of the demonic tiger tribe. Long Yun, can you give up on him now? Ha ha ha. Long Lei laughed wildly. He had his own selfish thoughts towards Long Fei. Because he hated Long Fei's father, hated him for leaving, and that Long Yun still couldn't forget him. Long Yun looked at the wildly laughing Long Lei, his face filled with rage as he shouted, Long Lei, have you gone mad? Am I crazy? Heh heh. I'm crazy for you. Long Lei stared at Long Yun. After all these years, you are very clear what I have done to you. What about you? You still can't forget about Long Zhanting, he doesn't want you anymore. He took the witch and flew far away. Long Yun, are you still not giving up? Long Yun coldly looked at Long Zhanting, and quickly left. Not long later, a troop of cavalry soldiers rapidly charged out of the Wolong Valley, led by Long Yun. Ah! Long Lei roared towards the sky, and angrily said to Long Yun, go. Even if he didn't die, he had still been captured by the feral tiger tribe. Even if he didn't die, if you bring him back, his mission would have been a failure, and I will take control of your Yun Long army. Long Yun, you will be despised by the Long family. Long Yun did not turn back. It was just like back then when she brought the Long family's army to the demon territory to save Long Zhanting. Watching as Long Yun rushed into the forest, Long Lei shouted angrily, ah, ah, ah. Demon territory, wild leopard tribe. Leader, the fierce tiger tribe has sent us a letter. Devil's leopard frowned and muttered, why is the feral tiger tribe sending this letter? Where's the messenger? He's been having trouble sleeping and eating these days. He regretted his decision. However, the wild leopard tribe was in a precarious situation right now. If they did not get married, they would be eaten by the feral tiger tribe. For the sake of the tribe, he had no other choice. Devil's leopard opened the envelope and frowned, a wave of anger surging out. Xiao Hu, how dare you? At this moment, a few elders walked into the tent and asked, Leader, what happened? Devil's leopard passed the letter over to them and said angrily, you actually caught my daughter. How did the fierce tiger tribe find out that my children were missing? An elder said in joy, Leader, isn't this perfect? Marry in 3 days and the marriage will be a success. At that time, we won't have to worry about the safety of the tribe. Yeah. Xiao Hu's actions have also saved us a lot of trouble. The few elders were overjoyed. The disappearance of the women made them feel like ants on a hot pan, afraid that the fierce tiger tribe would make a move. Devil's leopard's eyes stared wide open as he gave a cold laugh. I'm not using your daughter to make a marriage alliance, so of course you guys agreed on it. I also want to use my daughter, but that Xiao Hu doesn't like her. Xiao Hu is the most outstanding genius among all of demon territory. To be able to marry him is the dream of many girls. Exactly. Leader, let's make some preparations. That's right, it's still a joyous occasion for our tribe. They didn't pay attention to Devil's leopard's anger at all, but were instead overjoyed. To others, marrying the demon territory's most outstanding genius was something to be happy about, but he understood his own daughter very well. She would never marry a man she did not like. In that case, she would rather die. Furthermore, she had been looking forward to meeting her mother. Devil's leopard clenched his fists tightly, his heart was filled with helplessness. At this time, he hated himself for being weak, hated himself for not being able to protect even his daughter. Extreme hatred. The grand wedding of the young master of the fierce tiger tribe is coming in 3 days. All the 10,000 beast tribes in demon territory must participate. Ha ha ha. This is a joyous occasion for demon territory, you must drink a few more cups when the time comes. Xiao Hu is the most outstanding genius of the demon territory. Naturally, he wants to participate in the marriage. It would be great if we could capture a few humans as gifts. All the tribes in demon territory received this invitation. The entire demon territory was talking about this matter, and many people were in the wild leopard tribe. The feral tiger tribe was the strongest tribe in demon territory. Being able to catch the attention of the genius young master was definitely a blessing cultivated by that girl for 8 lifetimes. However, in a heavily guarded tent belonging to the fierce tiger tribe, it was a mess. Clothes, bedding, and some gold and silver jewelry were scattered all over the floor. The table was overturned. With a kick, she flipped the bed over and shouted, "Xiao Hu, let me out, I don't want to marry you, I don't want to. While they were talking, the leopard girl lowered her body and rushed out towards the door with all the strength she could muster. Bam! Coincidentally, he bumped into Xiao Hu, who had walked into the tent. Xiao Hu grabbed the leopard girl's hair and pulled her back. His eyes were like that of a fierce tiger staring at her, and he snorted coldly, "Little wild cat, you better behave yourself, or else don't blame me for being impolite." Bah! The leopard girl spat on Xiao Hu's face. Despicable, shameless. Pa! Yi Zichen slapped him. Xiao Hu's gaze carried killing intent as he gloomily said, "If it wasn't for the fact that I like you, I would have killed you with a single slash long ago." While they were talking, he pushed hard, pushing the leopard girl onto the ground, and said condescendingly, "Little wild cat, listen carefully, I have already distributed the wedding invitation to every tribe. Our wedding will be held 3 days later, either you be more obedient, or I will make your father, your wild leopard tribe, disappear from the face of the demon territory forever. I, Xiao Hu, will do what I say. I don't want to marry you, I don't want to." The leopard girl crawled up from the ground. When she heard what Xiao Hu said afterwards, she suddenly quietened down. Xiao Hu laughed complacently, "Very good, as long as you listen to me obediently, your father, your tribe will be very safe, ha ha ha. Someone, come, tidy up here and bring the bridal gown I prepared." After doing all that, Xiao Hu walked out of the tent laughing loudly. One of the lackeys asked, "Young chieftain, you brought her back to the tribe, why are you still trying to reason with her? Go straight up, does wild leopard tribe dare to say anything?" Xiao Hu smiled slightly and said, "3 tigers, you don't know what love is. I want to save it until our wedding night. I can't hold it in any more." 3 tigers, one of his lackeys, immediately giggled, "Young master, I have prepared a few of the best quality goods for you. Ha ha ha. Let's go, this young master will vent his anger properly, ha ha ha." Xiao Hu glanced at the leopard girl who was obediently sitting on the edge of the bed through the gaps of the tent, and smirked in his heart, "On the wedding night, I'll let you know my strength, then you'll never be able to leave me again, ha ha ha." Chapter 90, This is a Massacre. Chapter 90, This is a Massacre, Master, we're here. Xiao Bai reminded her. Long Fei looked at the feral tiger tribe encampment in the dense forest not far away. On the gate of the village hung a huge tiger head. On the head of the tiger were carvings of demonic symbols. The village was extremely huge, as if it was a small city. How could he get in at such a big age? "Xiao Bai, can you sense the position of the leopard girl?" Long Fei asked in a low voice. A few seconds later, he shook his head and said, "There are too many people inside, the distance is too far and they are all part of the demonic clan, their auras are the same, I am unable to sense their location, if I were able to enter, I would be able to sense them." "Master, I can enter." "No way." Long Fei rejected him without even thinking. Xiao Bai was still a young beast. Even though he was a young beast of the divine beast level, he was still a young beast. Every single one of the feral tiger tribe members were hunters. If they found Xiao Bai, they would definitely go all out to kill him. Long Fei would not let Xiao Bai take the risk and said, "Let's take a look first." A joyous occasion? Could it be? Long Fei's heart tensed, he immediately thought of what the leopard girl had said to him. Could it be that Xiao Hu wants to force the marriage? That must be it. Long Fei started to become anxious, but he did not rashly rush into the tribe. Looking at the situation now, he knew that the wedding was still in preparation and there were no guests around, so there was definitely some time left. "Xiao Bai. Here. You stay here and observe carefully. If you see a large number of guests enter the feral tiger mountain camp, inform me immediately." "Master, where are you going?" "Phew. I need to increase my strength a bit more." Long Fei's heart sank as he muttered, "Since Xiao Hu is preparing for his wedding, then the leopard girl is temporarily safe. Moreover, there must be a lot of guards by her side right now. Only on the day of the wedding will she relax. That would be the best time to save someone. Leopard girl, you must wait for me." Although everything was as Long Fei had analyzed it, he was still very worried in his heart. What if Xiao Hu was someone who would not follow his principles? What if the leopard girl Long Fei really wanted to rush in. But with his current cultivation, it was impossible. Saving someone was very simple. How was he supposed to get out? This was the key. If he was even the slightest bit careless, he would also be caught. If a human fell into the hands of a demon tribe, there would only be one outcome, being torn apart. Xiao Bai said resolutely, "Master, don't worry, I will guard this place without any problems." Yes. Long Fei did not dawdle and slowly retreated into the dark forest. Following which, he swiftly teleported out. After sprinting for tens of kilometers, they arrived at a valley that was emitting a dangerous aura. Bring it on. The aura on Long Fei's body was suddenly released, and his figure sunk. He immediately took out the dragon-slaying saber, and with one person and one saber, he rushed into the valley. When the demonic beasts in the valley smelled the scent of humans, they immediately became furious. Roar. With a loud roar, the entire valley began to shake. Immediately after, demon beasts rushed out one after another. There were over 100 of them. Standing at the entrance to the valley, Long Fei held the dragon Salia tightly, the chi on his body resonating with the dragon Salia's blade energy, slowly merging with it. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for comprehending the one with the saber realm. The damage for all saber techniques has increased by 20%. Bam! Long Fei took a step forward, and the dragon Salia dragged itself on the ground as sparks flew in all directions. Facing such a huge herd of beasts, he was not even the least bit afraid. Don't worry about the consequences. At this moment, he only had one word: kill. The dragon Salia moved, and a deep dragon's roar sounded. The blade aura raged, and directly shot out from the dragon Salia's body. Open the skin, break the bones, tendon break. The dragon Salia combined with the dragon Salia technique, against those level 1 and 2 beasts, it was as easy as cutting vegetables, one for each blade, one for each blade. After 7 moves were released. With the accumulation of the blade aura released by the dragon Salia became even more brutal. Dragon chop. Long Fei held his blade with both hands, poured the true breath into it and suddenly raised it up. Bang, bang, bang. It shot out in a straight line like a gale. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for comprehending gale cut. You have gained 1000 experience points, 100 true breath points, and 100 points as a reward. Gale chop. The first move of the dragon chop. Boom. The moment the whirlwind slash touched the beast, a grimace appeared between Long Fei's eyebrows, and the true breath that was infused with the blade energy suddenly changed under the control of the idea. Rumble. It was like a hurricane as it exploded. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for comprehending Hurricane War. You have gained 1000 experience points, 100 true breath points, and 100 points as a reward. Hurricane Cut. Dragon Chop's second form was activated. The hurricane moved and swept the surrounding dozens of demon beasts into the air. At this moment, Long Fei's body moved. As he rushed into the hurricane with his blade, he bellowed, "Dragon Chop, whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk." The saber chi was as fast as lightning, dazzling. In just a few seconds, all 170 layers of saber chi were released. The dozen demon beasts were chopped into pieces and turned into a rain of blood as they fell from the sky. Ding, ding, ding. The system beep kept on ringing. Long Fei heavily landed on the ground, and directly landed within the encirclement of the demon beasts. A cold smile appeared on his face. Not enough, not enough, this is far from enough. He kept his dragon Salia and leaped into the air. He spread his limbs and landed on the ground with a loud bang. He let out a weird croak from his throat, and the dust around him rolled out in circles with him as the center. Roar. The beasts roared, and hundreds of beasts pounced towards Xiong Longfei. Toading skill. A grand execution. Gudong. The true breath slot was suddenly cut in half. Long Fei's figure moved, the vigorous true breath was released by the divine technique toading skill, forming a domain with tens of spirit beasts. Long Fei's heart sank. Extermination. Break. True breath was activated. The energy of the upgraded toading skill exploded outwards. The bodies of the demonic beasts inside the territory of the true breath suddenly sank. Their stomachs madly stirred, forming a vortex. Ding, ding, ding. Another series of notifications sounded. Not enough, still not enough. Long Fei's voice sank, his right arm sank as he stretched it out behind him. Roar. A large power King Kong ape's roar came out. A punch flew out. Boom. It was like a heavy cannon was fired, overturning a group of low-level demon beasts. At this moment, those demon beasts were crazily running away. They were scared to the point of pissing their pants and screaming to the heavens and shouting to the earth. Mom, I want to go home. You want to leave? All of you must die. Long Fei once again took out his dragon Salya and chased after it with full strength. Chapter 91, He had trained himself to death. Chapter 91, He had trained himself to death. How strong was Xiao Hu? Long Fei didn't know. How strong was the fierce tiger tribe? Long Fei didn't know either. The only thing he knew was that once he became stronger, he would have a better chance of winning. He wanted to save the leopard girl. No matter the cost, he had to save the leopard girl. It was because he didn't want such an innocent girl to be destroyed. During the time he spent with the leopard girl, he discovered that she was very special. It was different from all the girls he had ever met. Naive, kind, cute, and at the same time wild, playful, and a little silly ignorance. How could such a good girl waste her youth in such a primitive forest? This was such a waste. Save, he had to save. The entire valley had been cleared. Long Fei's body was also covered in blood. It was easy to deal with level 1 or 2 demon beasts, but once he met the 3-rate monster and beast, it was difficult. The few deep visible bone injuries on his body were all caused by 3-rate monster and beastess. Hoo. Long Fei panted as he simply bandaged the wound. After consuming a highest-grade medicine powder, he said once more, not enough, it's still not enough. Continue to kill. For the entire day, Long Fei did not rest at all. In the evening. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 4 War Spirit. The instant of leveling up. Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief as he muttered, I have finally leveled up. If I don't level up now, I'll have to use the true pill. Under the release of various skills, Long Fei's true breath was completely insufficient. Night fell. The demon beast's time was up. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curved up as he said excitedly, the demon beast's time is up, and so is mine. At night, all the demonic beasts would come out to search for food. It could be said, the night was the time for the demonic beasts to control themselves. However, to Long Fei, everything that happened now was all within his control. Kill. After refining the 3-rate monster and beast's blood essence into a few top-quality talismans, Long Fei jumped into the darkness. A few minutes later. Boom. Boom. The sound of impact rang out, along with the miserable shrieks of demon beasts. Die. Dragon chop. Shua. For the entire night, Long Fei reaped the harvest crazily, and almost died several times. After escaping from death several times, he came back to kill. Everywhere he went, there were all corpses of demon beasts. Ding. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for gathering 100 fire essence chi. Would you like to strengthen it? Strengthen. Ding. Strengthening failed. F***ck. Long Fei cursed, fuck, this is the 13th time I have failed. Could it be that I won't be able to raise the success rate of forging with the fire element to 70%? He had succeeded 7 times. After that, he continued to fail non-stop again and again. Again, and again 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 and again. However, a success rate of 70% for fire attribute forging was already heaven-defying. Forget it. The upgrade is more important. Long Fei leaped into the darkness like a ghost. Noon of the second day. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, 5 War Spirit. Huff. Long Fei's entire body was paralyzed and he was riddled with scars again. Fortunately, he had recovered from his leveling, otherwise, he really would not be able to hold on. It was too hard. Every time was the limit. After resting for half a minute, Long Fei checked the experience required to level up. Looking at the long chain of zeros, Long Fei was dumbfounded. When will I be able to level up? What the heck? Long Fei cursed in his heart, isn't it too powerful to have his experience points doubled? Upgrade is getting harder and harder. Furthermore, the experience of the level 1 and level 2 demon beasts was becoming lesser and lesser, completely unable to satisfy Long Fei's need to level up. If this goes on, breaking through the War Chief realm will be too difficult. Long Fei frowned, I have to kill a higher level demon beast. But I'm not familiar with the hundreds of thousands of barren mountains. Where is the place where high-level beasts gather? Long Fei was secretly annoyed. Moreover, what he was more worried about was the leopard girl. How was she now? Would Xiao Bai move recklessly? He was not worried that Xiao Bai would not be able to find him, but rather, he was worried that Xiao Bai would act recklessly. It's unlikely for him to level up anytime soon. 5 million experience points was too much, and it would take him at least 3 days to level up. The most important thing is to think of a way to escape the fierce tiger tribe. It's not hard to find the leopard girl, but it's hard to figure out how to escape. Long Fei thought. At the same time, he checked the system. Refining techniques. Engraving formation. Alchemy arts, beast mastery. Suddenly, Long Fei's eyes flashed. Beast mastery? If I can control a flying beast, I can easily escape from the feral tiger tribe. That's right. Long Fei shouted excitedly. The feral tiger tribe did not have any crossbows in their hands. Furthermore, the feral tiger tribe was the most ferocious tribe in the demon territory, so it was impossible for them to charge out. The only path they could take was through the sky. If I could fly, then everything would be much simpler. Flying bird. Birds. I'm afraid that in order to find avian demonic beasts, I'll have to look for those fire hawks on the cliffs. Long Fei had seen it a few times in the sky, but its wings were only about 2 meters long. The prerequisite now was how to catch the fire eagle. Combining his experience of alchemy technique and talisman technique, Long Fei quickly knew that in order to increase the success rate of the beast mastery, he could only raise the level increase of the beast mastery. That's easy. Very quickly, Long Fei found a level 1 single demon beast. Immediately, the idea moved, releasing beast mastery. A string of electric net that only Long Fei could see enveloped the goblin beast's body. The electric net enveloped the demonic beast and entered its mind. Woo! The demonic beast immediately became alert and escaped frantically. It was also at this time. Ding! Beast master failed, proficiency +1 trying to run. Long Fei took a step forward, and instantly blocked off the goblin beast's path, and shouted, "Did I let you escape? Be a bit more honest with me, otherwise you will lose your life." He pressed the demonic beast to the ground. Beast mastery. Ding! Beast master failed, proficiency +1. Beast mastery. Failure, proficiency +1. Constant unleashing, continuous failures, 100 consecutive failures. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for his beast mastery, currently at level 1. It leveled up. Again, another beast mastery was released. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Flame Deer for obtaining 130 experience, 10 true breath and 1 energy values. Holy sh**. He was actually killed by Beast Master. Long Fei looked at the demonic beast that was spitting white foam, and muttered, "Does the beast mastery have any killing power? If strong idea rush into your brain and try to control your mind, you will die from frothing at the mouth." However, just as Long Fei had said, the beast mastery had a certain probability of instant death, but this probability of instant death was extremely small. Get another demon beast to train with. Chapter 92 Magic Serpent. Chapter 92 Magic Serpent. Ding! Failure, proficiency +1. Ding! Failure, proficiency +1. Long Fei spent the entire afternoon cultivating the beast mastery. At night, he continued to cultivate. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, level 2. Huff. The success rate is too low. In more than 10 hours, he had only succeeded 3 times. It had to be said that the success rate of the beast mastery was outrageously low. It would be even more difficult to control a demon beast with a certain level of intelligence like the fire eagle. The level of the beast mastery had to be raised a bit more. At the same time, Long Fei had also done many different experiments. Every cultivation technique had its own unique characteristics. Whether it was offensive skills or auxiliary functions, they all had certain attributes. As long as one could feel through them, it would be much easier for one to cultivate. The nature of alchemy techniques to master spirit grass was like the time in a pill furnace. The talisman techniques, the mastery of the demonic beast's blood essence, the use of the true breath, and the mental foregone thought, these were all unique attributes. And the unique attribute of the beast mastery is the idea's communicate, forcefully crushing. As long as you were able to communicate with these two attributes well, and guide the thoughts of the demon beast in front of your brothers and friends, the idea would be much easier to deal with. And then again, unless he met some cowardly and fearful demon beasts, he would let them be controlled. Otherwise, the personality of the demon beasts would be wild and unyielding. Under normal circumstances, they would not let him control their thoughts. The former was too difficult. The latter is equally difficult. As long as the weaknesses of the demon beasts were found, these two problems would be easily solved. If he wanted to control the demon beasts, he had to understand them first. In the past, Long Fei could slowly understand it, but now, he didn't have much time left. Ding, ding, ding. Long Fei did not try too hard. What he wanted now was the proficiency, to continuously release the profound energy, to dry up the true breath and to consume the true pill. In short, he wanted to raise the level increase of the beast mastery. Early morning. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, level 3. Long Fei looked at the properties of the beast mastery. Skill path, beast mastery level, 3 proficiency, 0 5,000 points damn. A 5,000 point proficiency is too darned. Long Fei cursed, seems like I have to go and fight. If I want to level up beast mastery now, it will be too late. In here. The true breath were also a problem. 5,000 proficiency was equivalent to 50,000 true breath points. He simply did not have that much, and true pill did not have that much. Moreover, the true pill was a life-saving true breath pill and it could not be used carelessly unless it was at a critical moment. In an instant, Long Fei quickly moved and stood on top of a tree. He looked at the sky in search of traces of the fire eagle. Wow! Caw! A sharp cry of a fire eagle sounded out. Long Fei was overjoyed. We finally found it. At this moment, the fire hawk swooped down like a fighter plane, its claws flashing under the blazing sun as it grabbed onto its feet like 3 sharp blades. A few seconds later, rumble. A towering tree collapsed with a loud bang, and soon after, a huge rhinoceros was caught. Holy sh**. 3-rate monster and beast, raging flames rhino? Long Fei was stunned. Isn't that just too powerful? That rhinoceros didn't have the slightest temper. In front of the firehawk, it was like a dead dog, giving up even the least bit of struggle. Awesome. He grabbed the rhinoceros and flew towards a cliff. Long Fei was also quickly chasing after it. No matter how strong the fire eagle was, he had to try because this was the only way he could think of to save the leopard girl. No matter what, the Long family would never give up. After chasing for half an hour, Long Fei was standing on top of the cliff. There was a cave about 4 to 5 meters under his feet. I have to think of a way down. Beast Mastery's cast range was the limit, 2 meters, and the closer they were, the better. If they wanted to catch the fire eagle, they would have to enter the cave, otherwise it would not be possible. Fire eagle still has some time to return to the cave. I have to hurry. Long Fei glanced at the dried-up wood at the entrance of the cave and said, I'll give it my all. He jumped down. With one hand grabbing onto the dead tree, it began to creak loudly. Long Fei was so scared that he almost peed his pants, and said, "Teacher Bo Duo, bless me." At a height of a few thousand meters, even if Long Fei had the battle dragon armor and King Kong shield S, he would still fall to his death if he fell. Maybe it was a prayer. The dead tree did not break. Long Fei said gratefully in his heart, "Bu Yi, I am your loyal fan. I have collected all of your movies. This is power. Thank you for your blessings." Ha ha ha. He carefully climbed up, only to see a head popping out. Hiss, 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 hiss. A huge python as thick as a person's thigh spurted its lightning-fast snakes as it rushed out. Long Fei was so scared that he almost fell off the cliff. Fire Rock Giant Snake. Peak Rank 3 Beast. Furthermore, the Fire Rock Giant Snake and the Fire Hawk were enemies of the world, the kind that didn't give up until one side died. These were all none of Long Fei's business. He just wanted to catch a fire eagle. Right at this moment, the Fire Hawk let out a mournful cry, flapped its wings, and dove over. Holy *T. The heck, my luck is that good. Long Fei hung on the cliff. He couldn't go up, he couldn't go down. There were Fire Rock Giant Snake in front and a Fire Eagle behind him. The Fire Hawk was extremely anxious. So much so that it gave up on catching the raging flame rhino. The rhinoceros fell down and directly smashed into a pile of meat paste. Another fight between deities. Who did I offend? Long Fei forced it. If he was on flat ground, he would not be afraid of these two beasts, but he was hanging on a cliff. If he were to go up, he would be swallowed by the giant python in one gulp. If that fiery eagle clawed at him, his life would be nothing more than a pile of meat paste like that of a rhinoceros. Goo goo. Suddenly, the cries of young eagles came from the cave. The Fire Rock Giant Snake turned around and suddenly rushed into the cave. No wonder the Firehawk was so anxious and didn't dare to attack. So it actually had a cub inside. Long Fei's heart trembled. All right, I have to make a choice too. Fire Eagle, I hope your intelligence can let you know how to repay favors. The giant python at the mouth of the cave disappeared. Long Fei seized this chance and flipped his body, immediately standing at the mouth of the cave. The idea moved, and said without caring if the Fire Eagle understood or not, "I will save your child, don't attack the cave." Finished. He immediately summoned his dragon Salia and rushed into the cave. He grabbed the Fire Rock Giant Snake's tail and fiercely pulled. The dragon Salia slashed and shouted, "Die!" The Fire Rock Giant Snake turned its body, and the snake's tongue was like lightning. Fear towards the dragon Salia appeared in its eyes, but it did not give up. His throat was churning. Boom. A small fireball sprayed out. Holy *T. Magic Snake. Chapter 93 Strengthening Dragon Salia Technique. Chapter 93 Strengthening Dragon Salia Technique. So what if you know magic? Even if you know magic, you still have to die. Tiny rippling steps. Long Fei began to move, dodging a fireball. The instant the Fire Rock Giant Snake turned around, he rushed to the bottom of the cave and blocked in front of the Fire Eagle cubs. The two eyes of the Fire Rock Giant Snake were like lanterns, and when it saw Long Fei protecting its young, it became even angrier. Woo woo woo. With a strange thought in his throat, a bigger fireball shot out. Goo goo. The fiery rock cub began to cry out. Long Fei shouted, "I know it's dangerous, stop bothering me." Ah! The dragon Salia moved, locking onto the fireball, slashing its blade out. Break. It cut the fireball into two. Goo goo. The Fire Eagle started to shout happily again, as if it was cheering for Long Fei. The Fire Rock Giant Snake was burning with rage. It did not continue releasing fireballs, but swung its tail, trying to wrap Long Fei up. Humph. With just you. Long Fei leaped out lightly and easily dodged the giant python's attack. However, the giant python's tail did not coil towards him, but instead attacked the cub behind him. Crap. Long Fei's heart tensed. He never thought that the Fire Rock Giant Snake would be so sinister. He immediately shouted, "Be careful." Long Fei kicked the rock wall, and his body shot out explosively. Since he had chosen to help the fire eagle, then he must protect its young, otherwise everything would have been wasted. At this moment, Long Fei threw caution to the wind. If you have the guts, come at me. Hiss, hiss. The snake's tongue was like lightning, as if it was laughing maniacally in a complacent manner. Woo woo. A fireball burst out from its mouth, and at the same time, it aimed at the cub's tail. Too insidious. Unimaginable treachery. Bam! Long Fei's back was hit by the fireball and his dragon armor and King Kong shield's defense were released at the same time. That was it. He felt a burning pain on his back. The giant tail wrapped around him and tightened its grip. Crack, crack. Long Fei's joints were popping. If this continued, his body would fall apart. Incomparable pain, Long Fei roared out in his heart, whooshwang, wang. Thick, dual attribute energy burst forth, a powerful force flowing through every corner of his body. Damn it, being played around by a snake, I don't believe I can't kill you. Ah! With a furious roar, Long Fei's right arm broke free from its bindings, and the large power King Kong ape on his right arm roared as he smashed it with his fists. Boom! Woo woo! The python cried out in pain, but it did not loosen its body. Instead, it tightened its grip. Boom! Another punch landed. Let's see how many punches you can take. Boom! Boom! After a few continuous punches, the fire rock giant snake could not take it any longer, and immediately pulled its tail out, and in the blink of an eye, the fire rock giant snake flew into the air, opening its mouth wide, wanting to swallow Long Fei whole. You want to eat your father? Dragon Salya technique, whoosh whoosh whoosh. Asterisk after 7 moves were completed in one go, Long Fei's blade aura moved, gale chop. Break. The blade was like a gust of wind, directly rushing into the fire rock giant snake's mouth. Long Fei took the chance and leaped up. The blade chi wreaked havoc and slashed down heavily. Boom. The fire rock giant snake could not take it anymore. Killed. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing fire rock giant snake for obtaining 5000 experience, 500 true breath and 1 energy values. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining Heart of Fire. Do you wish to strengthen it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. Several notifications sounded consecutively. Long Fei leaned against the wall and panted heavily. Hoo hoo hoo. Fuse. Ding. Please choose an enhanced skill. Dragon Salya technique. Long Fei was too tired to care so much if he were to casually announce a skill. Ding. Strengthening successful. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully strengthening Dragon Salya technique's Ardent Flame. You have obtained 1000 experience points, 100 true breath points, and 100 points as a reward. Huh! Dragon Salya technique flame? What is this? Long Fei immediately opened up the system to check. Technique, Dragon Salya technique fire, rank 1 strengthening, grade, divine level damage, S, class consumption, 300 true breath points per move. Description, the Dragon Salya technique has 7 forms. The skin, tendons, bones, blood, spirit, soul and slay will all be released at the same time. Each form will accumulate a layer of blade energy and can unleash 500% of the dragon chop damage when accumulated to the 7th level. Description 2, Dragon Salya technique combined with Dragon Salya, damage increased by 2-fold. Description 3, Strengthening of fire, attacks from the Dragon Salya technique carry damage from fire and the blade energy has become fire blade energy. Long Fei read carefully, and his brows shook. The blade energy has become the flaming blade chi? Holy sh**. Isn't this the effect of a fire attack? This is the effect that can only be achieved by using RMB in the game. A single activation, that is truly dazzling, cool, and fierce existence. No doubt about it. The blade aura was like flames, and the last move of the dragon chop was a wild fire slashing. The scene would definitely flash before a blind person's eyes. Ha ha ha. Too cool. Long Fei became excited. Just as he killed the fire rock giant snake, the 3 cubs hopped over to Long Fei's side, extremely happy. At this moment, Firehawk was incredibly anxious when he heard the violent explosion sounds coming from the cave, and could no longer resist charging in. Seeing his own child being so intimate with Long Fei, and seeing the flame python die on the ground, he knew what had happened, and the wound on Long Fei's back made him even more touched. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei and Fire Eagle for their intimacy reaching 100 points. You can now communicate with the Fire Eagle. His intimacy has reached 100 points, but he can actually communicate with demon beasts. Long Fei was overjoyed. At this time, the idea moved slightly and said to Long Fei gratefully, "Thank you. You are the savior of my child, I can do anything for you." Ha ha ha. Long Fei became excited and said, "I really need your help with something. Can you accept my idea's control? I promise that as long as you help me complete this task, I will release you from my control." "I'm willing." Fire Hawk didn't have any hesitation. This was the benefit of having 100 intimacy-s. The Fire Eagle will agree to any condition. Long Fei was also extremely grateful as she said, "Thank you." And then, a ray of beast mastery was released. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully summoning it. Would you like to obtain Fire Eagle as a mount? No. Long Fei rejected it. He said that he would let the Fire Eagle leave, and he would definitely let it go. Moreover, it still had 3 children to take care of. Immediately, the Fire Eagle let out a cry. Long Fei jumped up and landed on the back of the Fire Eagle. Following that, he rushed out of the cave like a fighter plane and dove down. Long Fei felt the ecstasy of flying, and in his heart he thought, "Leopard girl, I'm coming." Chapter 94 I Illinois Get You Out of Here. Chapter 94 I Illinois Get You Out of Here. Fierce Tiger Tribe. The lanterns and decorations, the joyous loudspeakers, the gongs and drums, the scene did not lose out in the slightest to the grand wedding of mankind. Congratulations! Ha ha ha! Congratulations, young lord. The wedding of the young master of the feral tiger tribe is a grand occasion for our demon territory. Congratulations! At the entrance of the village, people from other tribes continuously walked in. The chief steward of the fierce tiger tribe, Three-Eyed Tiger, welcomed him personally. Shao Hu was very, very happy today. From the moment he saw the leopard girl, he knew that he had to get this little wild cat. The wildness of her body and her flawless figure filled him with possessiveness. However, he did not treat the other girls the same way. He wanted to truly obtain the leopard girl's body in all aspects, and also her heart. For this reason, he had always worked hard. But at last he lost patience. He felt that if he wanted to obtain a young girl's heart, he could use the most efficient and simplest method to enter her body. Once he entered her body, he would be able to obtain her heart. Looking at the leopard girl with a phoenix crown on her head and her ice-cold eyes, he smiled lightly and said, "Little wild cat, please be happy. Today is our wedding day, so even if it's for your wild leopard tribe, you should smile." The leopard girl looked at herself in the mirror. This wasn't the wedding she wanted at all, not the man she wanted at all. She hated him. But there was nothing she could do. Just like Shao Hu had said, they were not thinking for himself or for the tribe. The tribe was where she was born and raised. There were too many relatives in the tribe. If they all died because of her, then the leopard girl would feel incomparably guilty. Moreover, hadn't his father always wanted her to marry Shao Hu? Since her mother was no longer around, she had to help her father a bit. This was the only thing she could do. In just a few short days, the leopard girl suddenly looked like she had grown up. However, deep in her heart, she was still hoping that there would be a prince capable of taking her away and leaving this place. Seeing that the leopard girl did not speak, Shao Hu's tone was ice-cold. "You're not thinking of your big brother Long Fei coming to save you, are you? I'm really looking forward to his arrival. The fierce tiger warriors of the 3rd floor and the 3rd floor are all looking forward to his arrival. With him here, my wedding will be even more exciting." Shao Hu looked at the leopard girl and said, "Little wild cat, if that human dares to come here, he will die here." However, if he had come back, he would have come a long time ago. Do you think he would still come? Ha ha ha. Humans are the most selfish, most despicable and most insidious race in the world. The leopard girl felt a chill in her heart. Yeah, if Big Brother Long Fei wanted to come, he would have already arrived. The leopard girl laughed bitterly in her heart. At the same time, her expression changed once again as she muttered, "Big Brother Long Fei, please don't come. Please don't appear." He felt slightly disappointed. However, she hoped even more that Long Fei would not appear because the feral tiger tribe was truly strong. The strongest tribe in demon territory. If they were caught, they would definitely be dismembered. Seeing the leopard girl's expression, Xiao Hu felt very unhappy. Extremely displeased. The rage in his heart raged as he swung his sleeve and shouted in a deep voice, "Put on her clothes. It's almost time for the wedding ceremony." Finished. Xiao Hu walked out of the tent and said to the subordinate beside him, "Watch this well. If you find any humans sneaking in, kill them. You dare to fight with me, Xiao Hu, for a woman? As long as you dare to appear, I will make you regret ever being born into this world." At the entrance of the village, Long Fei disguised himself and learnt the etiquette of the other spirit demon beings from far away, and said, "Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations." Three-eyed Tiger looked at Long Fei and asked, "Where's the invitation?" Long Fei took out the invitation and said, "Come and drink the young master's wedding wine. How can you not bring the invitation along?" As he spoke, he took out the prepared gift. These were all intercepted by him along the way. The invitations were naturally stolen. Three-eyed Tiger smiled and said, "Welcome, welcome. The wedding is about to start." Long Fei politely laughed and quickly entered the village, thinking to himself, "I wonder how Xiao Bai's preparations are going. I hope everything will go smoothly." Long Fei safely entered the fierce tiger camp and discovered that the training guards were wave after wave. Furthermore, their cultivation levels were not low, all of them were in the peak realm, and there were even some that were in the war chief realm. In addition, they were of the demonic beast race. Tianshan already had strength and a high defense. Humans of the same generation as them were no match for them. This was also the reason why the Long family's troops had been stationed here all these years. Long Fei slowly moved through the crowd, memorizing the surrounding topography and the training of the guards by heart. At this moment, the entrance of the village was in an uproar. "Ha ha ha! The Lord of all Fiends has arrived." Three-eyed Tiger smiled and said to one of his guards, "Go get the young lord." This was his father-in-law. Xiao Hu naturally had to personally greet them. Devil's Leopard smiled faintly, a bad taste in his heart. The few tribal elders beside him were all smiling like flowers. They respectfully said, "We still need the head supervisor to personally welcome us. It's truly an honor." Not long later, Xiao Hu then walked over and bowed towards Devil's Leopard and said, "Your son-in-law greets Master Yuan." Devil's Leopard slightly asked, "Where is my daughter?" The corner of Xiao Hu's mouth drew back as he laughed. "Master Yushan is currently resting right now, and the wedding is about to begin. You will be able to see your daughter soon." Obviously, Xiao Hu did not want Devil's Leopard to see the leopard girl, so he was worried that things would change again. He couldn't wait any longer. Devil's Leopard frowned, he secretly clenched his fists under his sleeves and was pulled into the feral tiger tribe by a few clan elders. Xiao Hu looked at their backs and sneered, then said, "Even your daughter has a bitter face at such a wedding. If you really make this daddy unhappy, this daddy will immediately destroy your wild leopard tribe." Three Eyes smiled and said, "Young master, today is your wedding day, don't say such ominous words." Just as Xiao Hu was talking to Devil's Leopard, Long Fei had already found the tent that the leopard girl was in. This place was relatively quiet and not many people passed by. "You are not allowed to enter here, please leave." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei immediately threw out 2 punches, knocking the 2 of them down and quickly entering the tent. It just so happened that there was only Leopard Lady in the tent, who had rushed into the tent, was stunned by the beauty of the phoenix coronet and gown. It was truly very beautiful, as if she was a completely different person. However, there were traces of tears in the corners of his eyes, and his expression was frosty. The leopard woman was shocked. She was overjoyed the moment she saw Long Fei, but then she instantly became anxious and said, "Big brother Long Fei, why are you here? This place is too dangerous. If Xiao Hu were to find out, You will definitely not be able to escape. Hurry up and leave. Long Fei grabbed the leopard girl's small hand and said, I'll bring you out of here. Chapter 95. This father is here to steal the marriage. Chapter 95. This father is here to steal the marriage. No, no, no. The leopard girl retracted her hand, retreated a step and said, Big brother Long Fei, I can't leave. If I leave, Xiao Hu will kill all of my wild leopard clansmen. My father will die as well. I can't leave. She wanted it right away. She truly wished that Long Fei could take her away, but she couldn't. He was very clear about Xiao Hu's personality. When she left after her wedding, she would cause him to lose all his face. Long Fei's heart tensed up. Looking at the leopard girl's expression, he said, Everything is mine. No way. The leopard girl shook her head and said, You are a human. If you were to participate, all the tribes in demon territory would come to suppress the wild leopard tribe, and that would be even more miserable. Big brother Long Fei, thank you for coming. Meeting you is the happiest thing in my life, thank you. The leopard girl giggled. It was that kind of mischievous and cute smile again. But she could not help it, and 2 streams of tears fell from her eyes. Pain. It was very painful. Looking at her 2 streams of tears, Long Fei's heart inexplicably hurt, as if it was about to be torn apart. This was the first time he had experienced such a feeling. He really wanted to help the leopard girl wipe the tears off her face, but when he took a step forward, the leopard girl took a step back. Suddenly, he didn't know what to do. He hated this feeling. At this moment, the sound of intense footsteps came from outside the door. Discovered. The leopard girl immediately said, Big brother Long Fei, run quickly. I'm fine. Finished. The leopard girl strode out. What for? It's already time for the wedding. What are you all doing? The leopard girl sternly rebuked, Why aren't you protecting me when I go to the altar? The guards trembled, not daring to be disrespectful to the future young master's wife. In any case, the leopard girl was still here, so they did not fail their duty. The commander shouted, Protect the young lady and bring her to the altar. The leopard girl turned around and glanced at the tent, and muttered in her heart, Big brother Long Fei, thank you. You gave me so many happy times. If I could only do it, I would really want you to be my husband. He. The most beautiful smile. The smile that was forever left on Long Fei's face. Within the tent, Long Fei was stunned in place, his mind a mess. He did not know what to do. Very irritable. An inexplicable sense of irritation arose. What am I doing here? Why am I here? Long Fei muttered to himself, Is the leopard girl happy? Is that man really the man she married? F***ck. I came here to steal the marriage. She's not happy. That big brute is not worthy of her. Soon. Long Fei gave himself the answer, clenched his fists tightly, lowered his gaze, and said, I want to take her away. I must bring her away from here. I want her to forever emit that kind of cute and innocent smile. I'm going for broke. Long Fei rushed out of the tent and shouted, Leopard girl, follow me. However, there was no one outside the tent. There was also no one around. It was quiet. At this moment, the central square of the fierce tiger tribe resounded with the howls of the fierce tiger tribe. The rites of heavenly worship began. This was a rule passed down through the demon territory. The tribe must sacrifice themselves to the heavens and ask the gods for their opinion. Actually, in other words, he would slaughter a few cows and sheep, sprinkle some blood, and then use a divine staff to jump up and down for a period of time. Finally, he would ask the heavens about a series of things. Aha! He. Aha! A group of people wearing beast skin clothing and ferocious tiger masks jumped around the altar. After jumping for 10 minutes. Please. Roar. The leader of the high priest shouted fiercely. Following that, 2 servants brought the leopard girl to the altar. Xiao Hu also walked out and with one step, he jumped to the top of the altar. Good skill. So powerful. A fierce tiger leaping and landing steadily on the ground. It looks ordinary, but it conceals endless power. As expected of the number one genius of the demon territory, Xiao Hu stood on the altar, smeared the blood on his face and looked up to the sky. It was also at this time. The high priest roared at the leopard girl. Xiao Hu's gaze darkened as he swept his gaze across the entire audience and asked loudly, "Who is the young master of the feral tiger tribe?" "Ha! Xiao Hu, Xiao Hu." The people of the fierce tiger tribe read his name aloud. "Who will be the commander of the demons?" "Xiao Hu, Xiao Hu." "Who will lead the evil demon clan out of hundreds of thousands of barren mountains and slaughter all of humanity?" "Xiao Hu, Xiao Hu." His voice shook the heavens. This was not like a big wedding, but more like a personal show for Xiao Hu, with a large number of ass-kissing girls. Amongst the crowd, Long Fei looked at the trembling leopard girls on the altar, waiting to take action. "Ah, ha, ha." Xiao Hu laughed wildly, and shouted loudly, "Who dares to oppose my, Xiao Hu's, wedding?" The entire arena instantly fell silent. Who dared to object? Forget about Xiao Hu's cultivation, just the influence of the feral tiger tribe was not enough to oppose him. Who would dare to object? Xiao Hu enjoyed this quiet moment very much. His face had a pleased smile. Does anyone dare to object? At this moment, Long Fei's voice sunk. "I object." The sound was like a thunderclap. With Long Fei at the center, the crowd quickly dispersed. Everyone stared at him. Who is this person? Which tribe? Are you looking to die? Does he not want his life? To dare oppose Xiao Hu's wedding, he must be tired of living. All sorts of discussions broke out amongst the crowd. In the distance, the leopard girl couldn't help but cry. She covered her mouth with one hand and tried hard not to cry out loud, "Big brother Long Fei, big brother Long Fei." Xiao Hu's gaze darkened. He stared straight at Long Fei and said in a daze, "Human boy, you finally appeared." Human? His human. Why would a human infiltrate the demon territory? This kind of scene happened about 10 years ago, and it seems like a human had suddenly appeared with the help of a witch. The human in front of me looks somewhat similar to that human. Could it be? A few of the older people looked at Long Fei as if they thought of something. They had experienced that kind of scene before, so they had a deep memory of it. Long Fei didn't even look at Xiao Hu, but walked towards the leopard girl step by step and said, "I'll bring you out of here. Come with me." The leopard girl cried and shook her head, unable to say a word. Xiao Hu was ignored. His voice was like a tiger's as he roared, "Kid, she's my woman. If you dare touch her even once, I'll make you die without a burial ground." Long Fei raised both his eyes and laughed coldly. "That's right, I am here to steal the marriage." "Idiot. Didn't you want me to be your husband? All right. From this second onwards, I, Long Fei, will be your husband. I will never abandon you in this life." The entire audience was dumbfounded. Chapter 96, Long Fei, are you worthy? Chapter 96, Long Fei, are you worthy? Woo woo. Woo woo woo. The leopard girl could no longer hold it in and started to wail, crying her heart out. Looking at Long Fei, she was moved to tears after hearing what he had said. It was also at this time. The people of the fierce tiger tribe did not come out. One of the clan elders from Wild Leopard tribe suddenly rushed out and slashed at the back of Xiong Long Fei's head. "Big brother Long Fei, be careful." The leopard girl screamed. Long Fei didn't mind. He stretched out his hand to look at the leopard girl and said seriously, "Follow me, I'll fly you." "Ah. Kid, prepare to die." The mountain-splitting knife slashed down. The force of its strike was so strong that it could split open a mountain. If this saber struck, he would die without a doubt. Long Fei looked at the leopard girl without moving, and extended his hand in front of the leopard girl, saying, "Come with me, kid. Go to hell." With an angry roar, the blade was not even half a meter away from Long Fei. Everyone looked at Long Fei with sneers of contempt. "I thought it was just a powerful human, but it turns out it's just a piece of trash. We're going to be dismembered soon, and we don't know anything. Kill him. He dares to come to the fierce tiger tribe to steal the marriage. Even 100 lives are not enough for him to die." At this moment, the leopard girl extended her hand and tightly held Long Fei's hand. "Big brother Long Fei, if you want to die, I'll die with you, hey. That smile is back. Long Fei smiled in his heart, and said, that silly, naughty, and cute leopard girl is back. In the blink of an eye, Long Fei suddenly turned, his eyes sinister as he stared at the elder of the wild leopard tribe, and shouted loudly, scram. As soon as his voice faded, Long Fei's left fist moved. Without waiting for the mountain-splitting knife to fall, he punched out, striking the surface of the blade. Buzz buzz. The blade emitted a buzzing sound before splitting apart into two pieces. As for the elder from wild leopard tribe, his arm was dislocated from the impact and he staggered backwards. He lost his balance and fell to the ground with a pale face. The entire audience went silent. All of them were stunned by the dense qi around Long Fei's body. The broken blade from his punch had dislocated the arm of the war spirit elder. This power was too strong. Long Fei turned around and looked at the leopard girl, wiping the tears off her face and smiled, I will not make you cry anymore. You are an angel, a happy angel. The leopard girl giggled and said, Big brother Long Fei, are you really willing to be my husband? Long Fei nodded his head and said, of course, I swore earlier that I, Long Fei, will protect you for the rest of your life. Ah! Boom! With a roar, Xiao Hu jumped down from the altar, causing the ground to crack. His eyes that were like that of a tiger glared at Long Fei and said gloomily, Little wild cat, I'll give you the best chance. As soon as he finished, Devil's Leopard and a few elders of the wild leopard tribe were all escorted up. Xiao Hu suppressed the anger in his heart, stretched out his right hand and said, If you marry me, both you and your tribe will be fine. If you dare to say half a no, I will let you and your father die here. Leopard lady, quickly listen to Xiao Hu. Bitch, do you want us all to die in front of you? Like mother, like daughter. Devil's Leopard, is this your good daughter? Quickly marry Xiao Hu. The three elders were scared out of their wits, trembling all over. Devil's Leopard looked at the leopard girl, then looked at Long Fei. Clenching his fists tightly, he said, Girl, choose the person you like and do the things you like. Leave the rest to Daddy. In that instant, Devil's Leopard's qi suddenly exploded, wild panther form. Roar! With an angry roar, a wild leopard whose entire body was releasing a demonic aura rushed out, pouncing towards Xiao Hu. Father! The leopard girl shouted. Brat, take my daughter and leave quickly. Devil's Leopard looked at Long Fei and roared. Long Fei trembled slightly. He never thought that Devil's Leopard would actually be able to transform, so it could be said that the leopard girl could also transform. Demon territory was a member of the demon race, so they could naturally transform into demon beasts. Xiao Hu frowned, the muscles on his body bulged, he stared at Devil's Leopard who pounced on him and disdainfully said, You're courting death. Tiger's heart. With his 5 fingers forming a claw, black tiger fur extended out of his arm. The powerful claws of the Beast King tore through the air and pierced into Devil's Leopard's body. Shua. All of a sudden, he pulled Devil's Leopard's heart out, and blood started dripping all over. Xiao Hu sneered sinisterly, holding the still beating heart, he looked at the leopard girl and said, Do you see, this is your father's heart. This is the result of choosing a human, ha ha ha. The leopard girl cried out in pain, Dad. Too strong. Not waiting to say it. Xiao Hu was too strong, with just one move, he was able to kill Devil's Leopard in an instant. If one wanted to find out, then it would be War Chief Realm, but he actually killed him. Xiao Hu threw his heart onto the ground, with a stomp on the ground, he exploded, and shouted, Kill all the people from Wild Leopard Tribe. Crack. Ah. Crack. 3 heads rolled down, and blood spurted out onto the ground. The leopard girl was trembling all over. Her eyes trembled as she looked at her father's corpse, falling into a state of panic. Daddy! 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 He wanted to pounce at her, but Long Fei held him back firmly. At this moment, all of the feral tiger tribe's guards rushed out in unison, surrounding the square so tightly that not even a drop of water could trickle through. The long spear moved, and a heavy shout rang out. Ha! His voice was deafening. Xiao Hu laughed complacently, and stared at Long Fei. Didn't you want to protect her for life? You can't even protect her father's life, you can't even protect her tribe, What right do you have to protect her for the rest of your life? Are you worthy? Ha ha ha. They watched as Devil's leopard died in front of them. Long Fei couldn't do anything. In his heart, he also asked himself, Long Fei, are you worthy? Are they worthy? Xiao, who looked at Long Fei's stupefied expression, laughed arrogantly, and said, only I can protect her, what a pity. She made the wrong choice. However, it doesn't matter, she won't die. I will use iron chains to tie her up. I want her to live like a dog. I want her to become my sex slave. Woohaha. Little wildcat, this is your choice. The leopard girl started to tremble. Not daring to look at Xiao Hu again, he trembled from head to toe. Huff. Long Fei let out a deep breath, and said, I will let you know whether or not I'm worthy. In that instant, Long Fei's idea sunk and ordered, Fire Eagle. Caw. A sharp eagle cry sounded and a huge shadow swooped down. Its wings flapped and the dust on the ground was lifted into the air. At this moment, Long Fei ordered, and said, take her away. What about you? I can take you two away. Long Fei's lips curled up, revealing a cold smile filled with killing intent, and said, I want to let him know whether or not I'm worthy. Chapter 97, The Boss Appeared. Chapter 97, The Boss Appeared. The original plan was, Long Fei and the leopard girl rode on the Fire Eagle together and left. But it was different now. When Long Fei saw that Devil's leopard could transform, he knew clearly in his heart that someone must stay behind to block them. Otherwise, they would be caught flying even further away. The most crucial point. Long Fei was unhappy. Very unhappy. The anger in his heart rage. Long Fei grabbed the leopard girl and threw her onto the body of the Fire Eagle. The leopard girl suddenly reacted, Big brother Long Fei. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, don't worry, I'm fine. As soon as he finished, Long Fei shouted loudly, go. At this moment, amidst the sand, Xiao Hu shouted loudly, stop her for me. Nobody. Long Fei released the battle chi from his body, and his figure moved, ripple tiny steps. He instantly rushed to the side of the fierce tiger guards. His right fist moved. Bam! Ding! One punch kill. Long Fei punched out again, another punch kill. With a flick of his body, he fell heavily onto the ground. His four limbs stretched out, and his Adam's apple emitted a few croaks, causing a burst of sand and stones to tremble on the ground. A grand execution. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Asterisk, a strong destructive power of true breath exploded out, causing the surrounding fierce tiger warriors to experience a sudden pain in their abdomen, their internal organs rolling around. His face was pale from the pain. He put down the weapon in his hand and covered his abdomen with both hands as he cried out miserably. It did not instantly kill them. Their cultivation levels weren't low, so it would be difficult to instantly kill them with the area of effect skill, the Great Bandage. However, Long Fei had already achieved his goal. No one could stop the Fire Eagle from flying away. It had already flown in midair. The leopard girl had safely escaped. All of a sudden, as the sand and dust settled, his vision became clear. Xiao Hu stared at Long Fei and laughed disdainfully. She will not escape from my grasp. I do not need to rush to chase after her. At that time you will. You lowly human, I would like to see how you will escape. Long Fei laughed. Run? I have no intention of escaping. Didn't you say that I'm not qualified to protect her? Now let me tell you, what is a qualification? As soon as he finished, Long Fei moved his right hand. Dragon Salya, come out. Buzz buzz. The sword chi was wreaking havoc, causing the entire fierce tiger tribe to tremble. The tyrannical aura of the supreme artifact caused many people to have difficulty breathing. Dragon Salya? A member of the Long family? It's the Long family again. More than 10 years ago, a young man from the Long family came to the demon territory and took our witch away. Who would have thought that there would be another one today? Damn human. Kill them all. Xiao Hu suddenly took a step forward and shouted, all of you stop. His mine. Before he finished speaking, Xiao Hu's body had already rushed out, pouncing towards Xiong Longfei, his 5 fingers forming a claw, grabbing onto Xiong Longfei's heart. He shouted, fierce tiger steals heart. Roar. The tiger's roar resounded in mid-air, a powerful aura rolled out. It was the cruel aura of a primal beast. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister, and he bellowed, "Dragon Salya technique. Open the skin, broken tendons, cracked bones." In 10% of a second, he unleashed 7 blades. Xiao sneered, and said, "He only had a flimsy appearance, and didn't even hit me once." "Trash. Is that so?" The corner of Long Fei's mouth drew back, and said, "Then look at this move. Shua. Gale chop." Long Fei held onto the blade with both of his hands, and fiercely slashed upwards. The first layer of blade chi was released, and like a flame, it exploded outwards. Rumble. Flaming saber chi. Xiao turned around and fiercely changed his direction, and explosively retreated a few steps, looking at the flaming blade chi, both fists striking out heavily, breaking your fart blade chi. Rumble. Both fists landed heavily on the saber chi. The flaming knife's anger sank. Hurricane cut. The second release of the blade aura was even more intense, carrying with it the power of the hurricane and slay. Furthermore, the hurricane contained the power of flames, just like a flaming tornado. The blade aura swept Xiao up into the air. In the blink of an eye, Long Fei's body leaped, and with a whoosh, he charged into the hurricane, locked onto Xiao's body, and roared furiously. "This old man will let you know what qualifications are. Word for word." The saber chi was released like thunder. The third slash. The fourth slash. Fifth, sixth, seventh. The 100th slash. The 101st slash. The 102nd. 175th slash. Rumble. A layer of saber chi slashed out. Each slash carried with it damage from fire. It was as if the air was filled with dancing flames. It was incomparably shocking and cool, shocking everyone in the surrounding area. What is this? What level is this human at? Oh my god. Everyone was shocked by Long Fei's dragon-slaying flame. 170 slashes. Xiao's body fell from midair and heavily crashed into the ground. His entire body was dripping with fresh blood and he didn't have an inch of good skin. Blood kept gushing out of his mouth. One of his eyes was cut open. One eye was filled with blood veins as it stared at Long Fei. Its killing intent was extremely dense. He had to say it. Xiao's defense exceeded Long Fei's expectations. Not even 175 slashes were enough to kill him. This was the advantage of an evil demon. Just based on the defense of the body, it was simply heaven-defying. However, no matter how strong his defense was, there was only 1/10 of a gash left on his head. Moreover, Xiao had already lost the ability to resist. Long Fei descended, stepped on his head, and coldly said while lowering his body, "Do you know what qualifications are now?" Looking at Xiao's vicious eyes, Long Fei laughed arrogantly. "You don't accept it, right?" The sound suddenly changed. "If you don't accept it, then go and die." The dragon Salya slashed down heavily. "Father," Xiao suddenly roared. Swish asterisk a sonic boom could be heard. Boom. With a loud sound, Long Fei didn't even have time to react before his chest felt as if it was being ripped apart, and his entire body flew out. Boom. On the altar, a thick crack had appeared on the bluestone. Long Fei's body caved in, the blood and energy in his throat tumbled, and he could not help but spew out a mouthful of blood. His internal organs were all tumbling about. Within his sea of consciousness, his mind was trembling. This was too unbearable. It was worse than death. His opponent was too strong. Long Fei simply could not react in time, and did not even see the shadow of a person. The dragon armor and King Kong shield on his body didn't even have enough time to defend before they were sent flying. A black robe man appeared beside Xiao, and upon seeing the injuries on his body, his forehead turned sinister. It was also at this time. All the members of the fierce tiger tribe kneeled on the ground. "Greetings, leader." The leader of the fierce tiger tribe, Xiao Wudi. A black tiger. Xiao Wudi gave Xiao a black pill. He stood up and stared at Long Fei with gloomy eyes. "You are a member of the Long family." Long Fei swallowed a highest-grade medicine powder and suppressed the injuries in his body. He stared at Xiao Wudi without any fear, but instead, he was excited. Because Xiao Wudi was a boss that was shining with a golden light. Chapter 98, I want to kill you. Chapter 98, I want to kill you. It is the Long family that has suppressed your evil demons for over 10,000 years. Long Fei. Long Fei said arrogantly. Very good. Xiao Wudi smiled slightly, looked at Long Fei and said, I am in need of your Long family's blood. I heard that your Long family's blood all contains the blood essence of the dragon god. Since you've delivered yourself to me, then I. At this moment, Xiao Hu crawled back up and said, Father, he is mine. Crack. Boom. Xiao Hu's body suddenly underwent a drastic change, his clothes were burst open by his muscles, black tiger skin appeared all over his body, and he released a primal and cruel aura. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister, and he could not help but ask, Dove Man? Other than the black tiger skin, Xiao Hu's appearance was exactly the same as the one-piece pigeon man. This was the first stage of Xiao Hu's transformation. There was also the second stage. However, he believed that the first stage of the transformation would be enough to deal with Long Fei. Xiao Wudi's gaze tensed up, and after hesitating for a moment, he said, Leave his dog life, I want his blood essence. His body sank. He leaned forward and disappeared in an instant. Bam! A fist struck Long Fei's abdomen. Long Fei's body exploded outwards, flying out over a dozen meters away before heavily crashing onto the ground. It was too fast. Without waiting for him to stand up, Xiao Hu's figure had already landed behind him. She grabbed one of his legs and fiercely smashed it down. The ground shook and cracked. Long Fei's body looked like it was about to fall apart. Bam! A kick exploded out, sending Long Fei flying once again, smashing him heavily onto the altar. His body sank inwards, and hung him within the crack in the stone. Blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. So powerful. This is our young lord. Demon Territory's #1 martial genius. What are you called? The members of the other tribes were all shocked as well. The power that Xiao Hu had unleashed was too terrifying. Long Fei was completely not a match for him. Our young master is an expert of the war chief. How can a trash of the war spirit realm like him be a match for him? Exactly. You want to fight over a woman with our young lord? Is he even worthy? Xiao Hu slowly walked towards Xiong Longfei, his face full of contempt as he said, Weren't you very arrogant just now? Aren't you going to kill me? You lowly human, in front of me, you can only accept your death. Hee. Ha ha ha. Long Fei laughed sinisterly. He raised his eyes and looked at Xiao Hu, full of playfulness as he said, Really? Xiao Hu looked at Long Fei's gloomy eyes and his heart trembled. He didn't know why, but fear suddenly rose in his heart. Could it be that it's not true? Finished. Xiao Hu moved. Suddenly, he increased his speed and kicked Xiong Longfei fiercely. Humph! Long Fei's neck lightly swayed, and with some difficulty, he walked down from the crevice in the cyan stone. He felt a strong current of air rush at him. Whoosh wang! Boom! A loud sound echoed out. Double attribute strength increased explosively. At this moment, ding! Strength gathering complete. Long Fei's mouth curved into a death god's smile. In his eyes, Xiao Hu's speed had already slowed down by a few fold. The power of the unparalleled attribute allowed him to become stronger. Trash, go to hell. As soon as Xiao Hu finished speaking, he kicked Xiong Longfei's face with all his might. With a kick, Long Fei's head would fall off. Long Fei's right arm moved. Roar! The large power King Kong ape's angry roars rang out, and in the midst of it was a dense amount of godly power, magic power of right hand. Explode for me. His right arm moved, his fist aimed at Xiao Hu's foot, and smashed upwards. Boom! The strength stripes exploded out. Crack! Xiao Hu's kneecap exploded. KCHA! Asterisk, a white bone on his thigh broke through his body, and fresh blood spurted out. At the same time, Long Fei also leaped up heavily with both of his fists punching out, grabbing onto magic power of right hand. His two fists formed a battle axe. Mountain hit fist. The gigantic illusion of the large power King Kong ape superimposed onto Long Fei's body and aimed at the top of his head with both of his fists and hammered. Xiao Hu was in extreme pain, on the brink of death. His reaction speed was not slow either. Too late. Rumble, magic power of right hand, left fist rumbling the mountain, two fists combining. Kill. Xiao Hu's face contorted, sometimes he wore a black tiger face, sometimes he had a human face, and eventually, his head exploded under the constant changes. Rumble. Headshot. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Xiao Hu for obtaining 100,000 experience, 1,000 true breath points, and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Black Tiger Physique. Do you wish to fuse it? Two simple prompts rang out. Long Fei took a quick look at the attributes of the Black Tiger Physique. Item: Black Tiger Physique description. There are 3 stages. The first stage is manifestation, the second stage is body blast, and the third stage is rage. Description 2. The higher the player's level, the stronger the ability to transform into a black tiger. Huh. Long Fei was secretly shocked. Isn't this the same as giving me a demon fruit? He thought again of the pigeon man. That kind of defense, that kind of strength and speed was simply abnormal. He immediately became excited. The idea moved and said, merge. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully fusing with Black Tiger Physique for 1,000 experience points, True Breath 100 points, and the reward is 100 points. The system had an additional skill Black Tiger Physique. Ah! 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 Xiao Wudi roared out in fury. Looking at his son's broken body, the rage in his heart soared to the skies. Long Fei, I want you dead. Battle Chi soared to the sky. All of the fierce tiger warriors around him were forced back. Dead. Xiao Hu was actually killed. Really, really, really killed. How is this possible? Everyone was dumbfounded. Xiao Hu, who had originally held the upper hand, was killed in one move. Moreover, it was in the beast body stage. How strong was the human in front of him? Shock. It was an incomparable shock. However, in addition to the great shock, more tigers surrounded him. At that moment, even if Long Fei tried to escape, he wouldn't be able to. Xiao Wudi took a step forward, and his heart felt as if it had been sliced by knives. He was only a son, yet he actually died in front of him, and at that moment, he simply wasn't able to save him. Long Fei continued to show weakness. He had been gathering his energy. That was why he was blasted around by Xiao Hu. The magic power of right hand required 3 minutes to condense, and could only instantly kill powerhouses below the 6th level of the war chief. Moreover, Long Fei's final move, the power of both his fists, was even more powerful. Evil. This was just a reason the weak were finding for themselves. Xiao Wudi walked in front of Long Fei, and said while gnashing his teeth, "You're about to die, I'll chop off your head and give it to the Long family army. I'll use your skin as a chair, and I'll make sure your soul will never reincarnate." The voice grew colder and colder. The dense battle chi formed a strong pressure, pressing on Long Fei's sea of consciousness and causing it to churn, making him feel extremely uncomfortable. Long Fei stared at Xiao Wudi, who was glowing gold, and said, "My goal is very simple, kill you." Chapter 99. Xiao Bai was angry. Chapter 99. Xiao Bai was angry. Boss. How could it not explode? In the game, as long as Long Fei met a boss, he wouldn't be able to move an inch. However, normally, he would have to pay the price of several lives before exploding. In the game, it could be revived for an unlimited amount of EXP or equipment, but this was different. In this real world, once one died, it would disappear forever. There was no chance for a revival. Long Fei stared at Xiao Wudi, his heart extremely excited, and thought to himself, "I've already prepared the berserk energy, and it's waiting for your boss to appear." And then, Long Fei shouted in his heart, "Wushuang, Wang." Once again, he released the double attribute power, making the pressure towards Xiao Wudi slightly improve. His right arm sank. His left hand moved 2 fingers inside his sleeve, and a glyph fell down. Xiao Wudi felt the change in his aura, and his eyes stared blankly. "You're courting death." While they were talking, he had already arrived beside Long Fei. So fast. Even if Long Fei activated Wushuang, he would not be able to see Xiao Wudi's movement trajectory, it was too fast. Bam! His 5 fingers moved, and a dense ferocious tiger palm force struck Long Fei's chest. Boom. Long Fei flew out. The difference in realms is too great, his not a match at all. Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood, and shouted in his heart, "Damn it." His left hand moved. Large power King Kong ape talisman, go. Shua. Rumble. The talisman exploded in mid-air as a huge large power King Kong ape rushed out and hugged onto it, mountain hit fist. He aimed at the top of Xiao Wudi's head and smashed downwards. Xiao Wudi raised his eyes and remained motionless. When the mountain hit fist descended, his head suddenly changed, directly transforming into the head of a black tiger. Miss. It didn't do any damage at all. The large power King Kong ape talisman was a top-quality talisman. It did not cause any damage at all. What realm did Xiao Wudi's defense reach? This was too unbelievable. Xiao Wudi glared at him, his 5 fingers forming a fist, and he punched out, scram. The punch was real, like an illusion. It cut through the air, and it was a heavy blow. Boom. The illusion of the large power King Kong ape was directly hit, blasted away, and then slowly dissipated. The power of this punch was extraordinary. Level 1 transformation? Is this the power of the level 1 change in the fierce tiger hunt? Too terrifying. He can even kill a phantom. The profound meaning of this power has already reached an extremely high level. Indeed. The demons had a much higher level of comprehension towards power than humans. Xiao Wudi was also a martial arts genius. His comprehension of strength had exceeded a certain level, and he had entered into a realm where lifting heavy was as light as lifting light, as if he was fake or real. Even if it was an illusion without a real body, it could still punch the sleigh. This was his strength. Human talisman? Humph. He can't even withstand a single blow. Xiao Wudi recovered his human head and took a light step forward. A cloud of dust beneath his feet flew up, his figure had already disappeared, and in the next second, he appeared in front of Long Fei. Ah! Long Fei bellowed, magic power of right hand. The 2 fists collided. Boom. The moment the 2 fists clashed, the strength stripes shot out. Crack. The joint on Long Fei's right arm cracked with a burst of sound. He was in so much pain that he broke out in a cold sweat and staggered backwards. He did not care about the pain as he stared at the top of Xiao Wudi's head. 109-inch of bright red damage appeared. Too little. It's impossible to kill Xiao Wudi under these circumstances. Power. Strength. I need even more power. Long Fei's heart tightened. Unparalleled and magic power of right hand only dealt 3 digits of damage. Compared to Xiao Wudi's few 100,000 health, it could be ignored. Roar. To Long Fei, this was merely a small amount of damage, but to him, it was extremely unpleasant, because he also felt a bit of pain. He could feel the power in Long Fei's fist. He was instantly enraged. With a roar of a fierce tiger, Xiao Wudi's figure blurred and appeared behind Long Fei. He roared at Long Fei's forehead, die. Buzz. Buzz. 2 voices sounded consecutively. The Dragon Battle Armor's defense was activated. The King Kong Shield's defense was activated. Bang! Long Fei was unable to resist, his fist was punched out, and the back of his head was about to split, blood flowing out, trickling from his forehead into his eyes. All of a sudden, his eyes, which had always been blood red, now looked extremely ferocious. Long Fei crawled up from the ground and stared at Xiao Wudi sinisterly. I will definitely kill you, I definitely will. Xiao Wudi was slightly stunned. He was very clear just now how strong he was, to think that he did not kill Long Fei. Looking at the creepy look in Long Fei's eyes, his heart trembled and he became even more certain. Kill me. You think you're worthy, Xiao Wudi sneered, you're just an ant in front of me, pinching you to death is an easy task. Yes sir. Your realm is higher than mine and your cultivation is stronger than mine. I am indeed no match for you right now, but don't worry, I will definitely take your life in a few days. Long Fei said. He had tried all his strength. No. I really can't. Wushuang, mountain hit fist, dragon salya technique. These cultivation techniques were only cultivation techniques. He was the source of all cultivation techniques. The stronger he was, the more power he would be able to unleash from his cultivation techniques. Level. It was the level. His level was too low. Xiao Wudi was an expert of the War Elder realm. He was merely in the War Spirit realm. How could he be a match for him? A level 10 player was the same as a level 30 player in PK. No matter how flashy their positioning or skills were, they didn't take any damage. If the opponent hit you, it would be a critical hit and you wouldn't be able to withstand it. Xiao Wudi laughed coldly and said, "What is it? Do you think you can escape?" Ha! All the warriors of the feral tiger tribe yelled out together, narrowing the encirclement by a big step. Escape! It was impossible. The corner of Long Fei's mouth lifted as he laughed sinisterly. "Xiao Wudi, just you wait, I'll definitely come back." At this moment, Xiao Bai. A woo! A wolf's howl sounded. Next, a white shadow flashed and landed beside Long Fei. Idea sent a sound transmission to Long Fei. "Master, are you alright?" Long Fei shook his head and said, "I won't die yet." Xiao Wudi laughed coldly and said, "Just with a little mongrel dog? You just want to escape?" Long Fei laughed, looked at Xiao Bai who was beside him and said, "Xiao Bai, he's scolding you as a bastard dog." Woo! Xiao Bai was angry. No one had dared to scold him for so long. So what if he scolded? However, Xiao Wudi actually compared him to a dog, a bastard dog at that. He was beyond angry. Chapter 100, Are you King pretending to be a divine beast? Chapter 100, Are you King pretending to be a divine beast? Woo woo woo. Woo woo woo. Xiao Bai continuously let out low growls from his throat. He was angry, very angry. The idea used the voice transmission technique to tell Long Fei, "Master, I want to kill him." Long Fei laughed. Calm down, he is mine, I will personally destroy him." "No. I'm going to bite him to death." Xiao Bai revealed 2 fangs that had just grown out. Because she was too young, she looked like a cute little tiger fang for a girl. It was completely useless. Long Fei said, "To be fair, we will split it evenly." "I agree." Xiao Bai nodded, and stared at Xiao Wudi with gloomy eyes. The aura on his body was changing, an extremely intense change. What is Xiao Bai? He was a divine beast. He's the wolf god. If he got angry, it would be half an attack that would destroy the world. Long Fei looked at Xiao Wudi and laughed. "You don't need to wait for a few days, you're going to die soon. You've offended someone you shouldn't have provoked, ha ha ha." He could already see Xiao Wudi lying on the ground. He had already sounded the system's berserk image. It was simply too beautiful. Poochie. Ha ha ha. Xiao Wudi could not hold back his laughter, and said, "A man and a dog, both of you still try to play tricks when you're about to die. Kid, do you think I'm a big threat?" Even though he felt that the aura on Xiao Bai's body had become different, but he didn't take it to heart at all. The fierce tiger warriors and the other demon territory tribe members all started laughing out loud. His death is near at hand, and he still dares to be so arrogant. He's a complete tease. Kid, your life is over. Ha ha ha. Being mocked by the crowd, Long Fei was in a bad mood, and asked softly, "Xiao Bai, are you alright?" Xiao Bai was still brewing. Long Fei thought to himself, preparing a big move requires time, just like my magic power of right hand. The longer the time, the greater the power. I must buy Xiao Bai some time. Then, Long Fei gave Xiao Bai a determined look, stared at him and sneered, "Those of you who are not scared, you will know later. Xiao Wudi, I've said that I'm going to kill you, so I'll definitely kill you. If you don't believe me, then just wait and see." Xiao Wudi disdainfully said, "Lowly human being, this place is my demon territory, it is the domain of my evil demon. Even if your Long family's army dares to enter, I will let them die here. Last time, your Long family took away our evil demon holy maiden. This time, even if you have 9 lives, you will still die here. Everyone in Wild Leopard tribe will die with my son, and the cheetah girl who escaped will be buried alive. I will make her kneel in front of my son's tombstone forever." Ha ha ha. His voice was filled with rage. The laughter faded. Xiao Wudi lifted his right leg slightly. Long Fei's heart tensed up. He immediately asked, "Xiao Bai, are you fully recovered?" Xiao Bai was still brewing. Long Fei wanted to die. What big move would take so long to prepare? Suddenly, a gust of strong wind blew over. Long Fei couldn't care about it anymore as he hugged Xiao Bai and dodged fiercely. Hoo! Boom! The wind from the punch pierced through his shoulder, but, without waiting for Long Fei to rejoice, his back was in pain and he rushed out. Fart! A powerful force surged into his body, causing Long Fei to be unable to withstand it, and spurt out a mouthful of blood. Xiao Bai! Long Fei's face turned pale white. F***CK. Long Fei made up his mind, I'm going to throw caution to the wind. His right hand moved, summoning out his dragon Salya. He clenched his fists and said, Come, the Long family's supreme artifact. It seems that you are the young master of the Long family. 16 years ago, you were also the young master of the Long family. The two of you look so similar. Xiao Wudi's forehead turned sinister. That year, just like the leopard girl, the evil witch was about to marry him. However, Long Zhanting's appearance had broken everything. Snatch the marriage. Escape. The Long family's army had arrived. At that moment, Xiao Wudi swore on his blood that he would take revenge, that he would make the Long family vanish into smoke, that he would kill Long Zhanting no matter what. So many years. He had been cultivating in seclusion, all for the sake of taking revenge one day. Looking at Long Fei, that memory came to his mind, but it was just that. So many years had passed, yet he had never thought that the matter would be repeated in front of his own son. Moreover, his son died in Long Fei's hands. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, That's right, I am Long Zhanting's son. Back then, my father did not take your dog life because of my mother. Ah! Xiao Wudi raged, and immediately entered the first stage of transformation. Staring straight at Long Fei, he roared continuously in anger. His true identity had been exposed. It was indeed just as Long Fei had said. If not for his mother's plea for mercy, Xiao Wudi would have died under Long Zhanting's sword. But, how did Long Fei know? How did the TV series in his previous life play out? An old story. Long Fei could imagine it with just his toes, but when he saw Xiao Wudi's angry expression, he was stunned in his heart. Ha ha ha. I guessed right. You were defeated by my father, and your son was killed by me, Xiao Wudi. If I were you, I would just kill myself. What face do I have to live in this world? Women are stolen by my father, and their sons are killed by me. His words were like a violent punch. Xiao Wudi's face was completely red. He spat out a mouthful of blood. 120,000. Floating above his head floated a damage with 6 digits. Long Fei was dumbfounded. Holy **T. Cursing has an offensive effect. Immediately, Long Fei started to curse loudly. What failure in living! Living is worse than a dog. All sorts of despairing words were uttered, but none of them caused any damage. Not mentioning that it did not result in damage. Xiao Wudi, however, hid his gaze even more. He stared at Long Fei and said, Your father is hiding like a dog. Then, today, I will kill this dog of yours before I go kill your father's old dog. Suddenly. Second stage. Open. Rumble. The muscles on Xiao Wudi's body violently changed, and his strength ignited on his body like a flame. Buzz. The sound of raging power echoed in the air. Killing intent raged. Long Fei looked at Xiao Bai, and said, Are you F***king well or not? It was a matter of life and death. Long Fei placed all his hopes on Xiao Bai. At this moment, Xiao Bai's gaze tensed up, and his entire body suddenly tensed up. Long Fei became excited. It's going to come out, it's going to come out, the big move is going to come out. Fart. A loud fart sounded out on Xiao Bai's butt. Immediately, the aura of the divine beast on Xiao Bai's body completely disappeared. After brewing for a long time, what the hell are you brewing for? Long Fei looked at him foolishly, really wanting to kick him twice. Damn you, are you pretending to be a divine beast? We're finished now. Chapter 101, Women are really annoying. Chapter 101, Women are really annoying. At this moment, Xiao Bai said, Master, don't worry, I still have finished. It was another round of brewing. The aura of a strong divine beast burst out again, and this time Long Fei had ignited his hope again. After all, Xiao Bai was a divine beast, the system would not lie to him. Quick, quick, quick. Xiao Wudi had already moved. Long Fei's true breath was now exhausted, and his body was severely injured, so he could no longer take Xiao Wudi's attack. He could only rely on Xiao Bai. Ha ha! Xiao Wudi, prepare to kneel down and sing conquer. Long Fei suddenly exclaimed, scaring the surrounding guards into trembling, causing them to retreat half a step. They had also sensed the powerful aura of a divine beast from Xiao Bai's body. Xiao Wudi's heart trembled. As a member of the spirit demon race, he was extremely sensitive to the auras of divine beasts. At this moment, Xiao Wudi coldly snorted, "Go and die." At this moment, Xiao Bai's stomach growled. Long Fei's face was full of excitement as he said, "It's here, it's here. The divine beast's big move is coming." Pater. A pile of yellow-colored flowers burst out from Xiao Bai's chrysanthemum. Long Fei Xiao Wudi. Tight tiger guards. There were also others from the feral tiger tribe. In that instant, all of them were speechless. And then, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter, ha ha ha. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to choke a fart. This time, I'm going to choke a pile of feces. I really can't take it anymore. Ha ha ha. They were all laughing so hard that they swayed back and forth. Those fierce tiger guards laughed so hard that they couldn't even hold their weapons. Many of them laughed and pounded their hands on the ground. This is 2F** King funny. Is his big move just farting and shitting? Ha ha ha. Even Xiao Wudi stopped, laughing. Long Fei looked and looked at Xiao Bai and kept on reading. At the same time, he checked the system 100 times. A divine beast. A divine beast. A divine beast. Goddamn your beast. Is there anyone who would cheat like this? It's not like this. I want to exchange for points. I want to exchange for him. Ding. The war pet recognizes its master. We are unable to exchange for it. Ding. The war pet recognizes its master. We cannot abandon it. Ding. Long Fei really wanted to die. He had never wanted to die so badly. It was not enough to be toyed with once by Xiao Bai. He still had to be toyed with twice. If Xiao Bai was a human, or if he was a mature wolf, he really would beat him up ruthlessly. The key was, Xiao Bai was still looking at Long Fei innocently. The idea sent a sound transmission to him. I ate bad stuff this morning. Long Fei was truly speechless. You are my brother. You are my blood brother. I beg you, please don't speak anymore. I'm serious. Xiao Bai grinned and laughed, then said, Master, I still have another big move. Don't, I beg of you, don't even mention your big move. I'm more willing to be killed by Xiao Wudi than to see what kind of big move you have. Long Fei no longer believed Xiao Bai's words. Big move? Bullsh**T. This was a huge move even when he was holding his breath. It was really killing him. It was so embarrassing that it was going to be thrown into outer space. Xiao Bai said anxiously, I really still have some big tricks up my sleeves. Do you believe that I will let you see it? I believe you. I really do believe that I won't be able to escape either. Xiao Bai, you still have a great future. At least in terms of deceiving, you have a huge future. If you want to live, then run. Long Fei also had nothing else to say. He couldn't escape from his current situation, but he still decided to give it his all. Huff. His eyes turned vicious. The dragon Salia moved, charging towards Xiao Wudi. Using the last bit of its true breath, it chopped down with its blade. Xiao Wudi laughed coldly, and said, so weak. The dragon Salia in your hands is simply a waste. Facing the slash from Long Fei, he easily dodged. With a move of his right hand, he struck out with his palm, striking Long Fei's abdomen. Boom. Long Fei's body flew out, and heavily smashed into the ground. Phut. Puff. After spitting out a few mouthfuls of blood, he looked at Xiao Bai who was rushing towards him and said, Why aren't you leaving? Quickly leave. He had promised Xiao Bai's mother to take good care of him, but if he couldn't even take care of himself now, How could he take care of Xiao Bai? Xiao Bai suddenly turned his body, staring at Xiao Wudi, who was slowly walking over. He revealed a savage look. Awu tilde master, my enlargement stroke is here. Long Fei quickly moved away a little, afraid that Xiao Bai would spew out some *T from his buttocks again. With his eyes closed, he didn't want to look anymore, so he said, go ahead. At this moment. Rumble. Suddenly. A violent force exploded. Rumble. 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 The earth shook violently, as if there was a great earthquake. Xiao Bai's eyes became extremely vicious. He roared once again, and bellowed, little ones, kill. Boom. A flame wolf that was the size of a mountain rushed out, and with a body that seemed to be ignited in flames, bowed slightly towards Xiao Bai, then pounced towards him. Following closely behind. One flame wolf after another rushed into the tribe. One of the guards hurriedly reported, Leader, our tribe is surrounded by demon beasts. They are all fire wolves. We can't hold them off anymore. Xiao Wudi sent the flame wolf flying with a punch, and another flame wolf pounced on him. The level of these flame wolves were not low at all. There were even a few fire wolves of the 5th rank. The moment Long Fei opened his eyes, he exhaled deeply. This is your big move. Xiao Bai replied. Long Fei slapped his head. Why didn't you let it out at the beginning? He immediately provoked a level 5 flame wolf with his slap and roared at Long Fei. His 2 fierce eyes stared at Long Fei as if to say, if you dare touch him again, I'll cripple you. Seeing the flame wolf being fierce towards Long Fei, Xiao Bai glared back and shouted, he's my boss, if you dare disrespect him even a little, I will teach you a lesson. Woo woo woo. The flame wolf immediately became like a puppy, gently rubbing against Xiao Bai's body, its eyes full of love. Long Fei looked at Xiao Bai, then looked at the mother flame wolf, and muttered, I was wondering how you could summon so many high-leveled flame wolves, so it turns out you're in love. Xiao Bai was still a young divine beast, his abilities could only summon a level 1 demon wolf. However, the lowest of these flame wolves was at the 3rd rank, while the female wolf was at the peak of the 5th rank, the Wolf King. Unexpectedly, Xiao Bai actually took it down. Xiao Bai glared at her, and shouted at the female wolf, hurry up and open the way for my boss. Awoo! The female Wolf King immediately roared, and the flame wolf rushed in. After the female wolf had left, Xiao Bai shook his head helplessly. Women are truly annoying. In an instant, the flame wolf had been ordered by the Wolf King to become even more vicious. In less than half a minute, it had already left the village. That scene. Too gorgeous. Long Fei looked at the truly battling Xiao Wudi and sneered, Xiao Wudi, I will definitely come back. Let's go. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.